Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
Is there anything anybody loves more than agreeing with Tausch?
Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher.
I got a hunch this isn't going to be concise either.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee at the 3rd Street Market Hall.
I would say that you are pretty easygoing. You're actually probably more easygoing than I am.
Well, you're not easygoing at all.
Hey!
This is Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Monday edition. The I have mixed feelings edition. I have mixed feelings about Oppenheimer, which I watched because I have Peacock. But I can't wait to find out if that was playing on any of Tausch's travel itineraries edition. I have mixed feelings about Tausch being back because he does miss some shows, and we give him a hard time about it. We have great cousin subs. Gary Ellerson was great on Friday. Bulaga was great last week. But on the flip side, we're a better show when he's here. And when he comes back from these trips, he's usually ticked off about something or some sort of travel snafu has occurred, which leads to great content edition of Wilde and Tausch. On 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, and proudly wearing his Johnson & Sons hat as he shuffles papers across his desk at his undisclosed location. He is the Packers Hall of Famer, and he may or may not have had some sort of brunch incident. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
Brunch incident. Help me out with that. What does that mean?
Well, one of your texts, my understanding is I'm not supposed to give specifics of the texts in the background, but now I might as well. Breakfast buffet blank.
You don't swear often in the group text.
Now, you were ticked.
So a lot of times you go on these hockey tournaments and they'll put breakfast in with you, right? And they give you vouchers. So hockey, you have different schedules. You'll have an 8 a.m. game. Brunch will be served from so-and-so to such and such. So you'll miss, but that's already kind of included in the price of the hotel.
Oh,
so
boy.
Hockey families, obviously, we're very fortunate. Get to go to a lot of cool places. Whatever. So we get there, and we get our brunch, and it's great the first day. Friday morning, good brunch. Go play a couple games.
What'd you have?
Win one, lose one. Saturday, they put up on the deal.
Did they have hamburgers?
8 to 10. No, they did not have hamburgers and fries. 8 to 10 is the brunch time. All right, we can't make it. But then yesterday, it was 9 to 11, and we played at 8. So a lot of us had flights around 3:30 or 4 o'clock out of Dallas-Fort Worth because you don't know when we're leaving.
Sure.
So we all get done, and we're all right, let's get back to the hotel. We can check out and get our brunch. So we go. And they said, well, no, brunch is closed. It was 8 to 10. And I said, well, the sign right here says 9 to 11.
Uh-oh.
Like literally right in the elevator. Well, no. So I believe there is a conspiracy to put these brunches at times when we're the only hockey team in there, and they just didn't want to serve us. So it was a conspiracy, and then they didn't let us use the voucher. So I have a stack of breakfast vouchers that are unused at this hotel down in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas.
Enough that it's worth to fly back down there and just eat breakfast every day?
Breakfast ain't that good. But it was, I mean,
If you
it
get
was
there at
better.
the right time.
It wasn't. It wasn't you get some of these eggs where it's like powder based, which sucks.
Yeah, not
These
good.
were fresh, crisp,
Fluffy.
beautiful, yellow, fluffy, crisp bacon. They might have went to
crisp
Christian. We got
bacon.
all that good bacon that we've been talking about.
Yeah, $2.49.
So very frustrated, and then it's like, well, all right. So instead, we get done, and we wouldn't have hauled our tails home so quick to the hotel, but they don't do it. So our whole team comes back to get breakfast, and then we end up having to go to like some chicken tender joint, drop another $50, and be done with our life. So I was annoyed by the whole process.
Understandably so. So they did, as is often the case, I have a few questions.
Yeah.
First of all, how are you feeling? You sound a little bit, I feel fantastic-y today.
I sound what?
I feel fantastic.
I
Remember
feel
that?
fantastic.
That right there. You say I feel fantastic right
Are you
now.
cheering a lot this weekend, or?
I sound like that? Well, then I should probably call it a show. You guys want me to bounce? I have a cold. So here's the thing. I felt great heading down, and we ended up in a party van. But we didn't party a ton, but we had a bunch of kids.
You shared a lot of
when you
germs.
have a bunch of kids, there's a lot of germs. And as I was coming home last night on the 7-hour delayed flight, I had some sniffles. But if I sound like that and you guys want, tell me to deuces and I'll call it a day. I'm fine with that.
No, I definitely don't want you to leave, but I'm getting I'm getting the sense that between the buffet fiasco and some delayed travel, that you're not the happiest you've ever been when you've been on the program.
No, I'm in a good mood, but
okay, good.
every time I get a little sniffle, I always know that you're going to do this, and that always kind of irritates me.
I think people just enjoy the "I feel fantastic" clip, and that's all I was trying to get to. I apologize if you feel like.
By the way, Rob, I did reach out to Coach Mike. Our schedules didn't align, but I had a really nice text exchange with Mike. He's doing He is doing fantastic.
I feel fantastic.
I don't believe he's going down to the.
He is not, I was told. Yeah. So for those of you not on the video, Rob in Michigan sent a text that says, "Dallas, did Tausch go over to see Coach McCarthy?" Tausch was answering him. Now,
we'll be grumpy.
My other one question about this. So usually hotels, especially with big groups, and especially, I don't know if you guys stay at this hotel every year when you play in Dallas, because you play the junior stars or whatever they are fairly frequently, it seems like, over the years.
We go every year. Yep.
Did you, I don't want to be, Karen, I'd like to speak to a manager, but was there some measure of, hey, we really screwed you guys over, we'd like to make it up to you? None of that? It was just, hey, sorry, it's closed? Did you push the envelope at all on this? I would have probably looked for some sort of compensation from the hotel for what I'd been inconvenienced by.
So here's what happened. It was not a great hotel experience. It is a beautiful hotel. Max and I got in late on Thursday because, some flight issues again. Not a great aviation weekend for Old T. Flights got us there safe, so I'm not going to complain.
Oh, boy. I hope the girls don't have as much trouble coming back tomorrow.
But we got there late, and the check-in gal was really pleasant. There was nobody there for 10 minutes, and there was no bell. But when she did show up, as we were sitting here pretty hungry and a little cranky, she said, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to give you 3 of these deals for this restaurant." "Oh, great. Can we go down there?" "Well, it's closed at this time of night."
How late did you get there, if you don't mind me asking?
We got there at 11. We were supposed to get there at 9:30 and a couple-hour delay. Hey, but we're easy going. No big deal.
You are easy going.
So there is a sports club, but does not allow kids in. So I end up going down there. I send Max up. I get him some food. So they give us a $10 gift card for this place called Moxie's.
Ooh,
and I'll
free
give them
advertising.
love because I'm not really giving them love.
Uh-oh.
And
Okay.
then they gave us a free appetizer at Moxie's. Okay, great. So we go in, and then a couple of the other families got these too. So we went after our Saturday night late game. We got back just before they closed, sat outside, and we're sitting there, and we get our bill, We got our apps and everything else, and they took $10 off our whole bill. And we're like, well, no. And there's the manager comes out and says, well, it's one party. And I said, well, just my boy Chris, our elevator guy said, well, no, we'll just say, I'm a party, you're a party. He goes, well, do you guys know how parties work? That didn't sit right with old T. So I said, here's the deal. I ordered my nachos up at the bar before those guys got there. They ordered an appetizer when they were sitting outside. We coordinated and sat down together, and he's like, well, the best I can do is give you $20 off, and it should have been like $50. And we said, no, that's not the best we can do. Your service was dog crap. Nobody served the ladies that were there. They kind of ignored them. So we would have never come to this place had you not given us these. You will take all of our money off, or we're just not going to pay, which, of course, we'd have had to pay. We battled. Finally, the manager gave in, and that's the same place that did the breakfast buffet. So you can only go to that battle line once. I didn't feel like fighting on it. So all in all, it was not a great hotel experience, and I'm hoping that
you will not stay there next year.
No. But other than that, it was a good trip. The hockey was really good. Kids played hard. We beat a top team a couple times. Couldn't quite get past the Stars. They got a good squad.
Tough to beat them on their home ice.
Pavelski's kid are both on that team. So we've had good battles with them. Yeah, we beat them last week. They came up to Madison. They got us this week, and they won their whole tournament. Good weekend for the Caps as we kind of round into shape here to finish the season off.
Didn't realize you had a home with the Dallas Stars.
We did, yeah.
It's big time.
Well,
was Mike Modano there? So that's great that the hockey was good, because someone once said on this show that the food makes or breaks a trip, and it sounds to me like the hockey was what made the trip, which is a good thing since the food kind of broke the trip, other than one good brunch. In fairness, we went to some barbecue pit that was, I might not feel fantastic today. That food was fantastic. Oh.
You get the smells. You go and you just order it, and then they throw it on a plate, they weigh it, and you go pay for it. You can get as much or as little as you want.
How much?
Did they have
meat bunnies?
No, they didn't have meat bunnies, but I'm trying to think what they didn't have anything super exotic. I don't think there was like giraffe or anything like that on there.
They can reach out to Balaga once he gets his farm up and running. All right, so we're glad you're back. We're glad you survived the hotel experience, which was less than ideal. I am curious, since Paula traveled with the girls and they're coming back tomorrow, how are you and Max as a traveling tag team?
Good.
You guys travel well together?
Yeah, he is now seasoned enough that it's,
unfazed.
There's nothing that. Yeah, one of the things I didn't get is we went through the old security line, and you put your bag in, and then he got pulled off to the side, which I'm always a little leery of. I don't like the whole TSA with kids. I just don't like it. If you want to pat me down, whatever. They didn't pat me down. They said, well, you got to grab your laptop. And I said, well, how the hell do you know you even had a laptop? And then he had to bring his laptop over to the deal, which I didn't fully understand.
Where they do the swipe thing with the little
I don't know. It was
stuff?
But outside of that, and then obviously the flight delay on the way out, and then the debacle that happened on the second half of it, other than that, yeah, it was smooth. And Max is pretty good about letting me know when he needs something to eat. Okay. Otherwise, he's reading a book. He's doing homework.
Wow. Gets it from Sarah.
Stuff.
We're glad you're home safe and sound and you survived your trip. Do we have more? The hockey season is winding down, you said. Do we have any more big road trips?
No more road. Well, Fond du Lac is our big. We have our state.
Ooh. Do you fly there?
State deal where we have to play Team Wisconsin and the Milwaukee Admirals.
Ooh.
Good rivalry going, Caps and Ads.
18 in a row.
Having a ton of success at the big boy level. So that's going to be the big one, and that's, I think, in a week or two. I don't remember when that finishes up. So that's what we got left.
All right. Well, that is the Tausch weekend update. We're happy to have you back. Thanks again to Gary Ellerson, who was terrific on Friday. We had a lot of fun with him, and he had a lot of fun insights. But we need to get to Packers. The Combine starts today-ish. Everyone's coming in today. They really get started tomorrow. Brian Gutekunst will talk tomorrow out in Indianapolis. Matt LaFleur and Rob Domofsky gave me a stat at his son's basketball game. From his understanding from his 32, well, I guess 31 because he's the other one, colleagues in the NFL Nation crew, 12 NFL head coaches are not expected to attend the scouting combine. I want to ask Tausch, in the words of Vince Lombardi, what the hell's going on out here? I saw Mike Florio had a post this morning on Pro Football Talk that they think it's a waste of time. Is it? Not sure I understand that. What I do understand is that it's a waste of time to go anywhere else for your replacement windows, because Gene Adella and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, who have had some great deals of late, and there may be some verbiage change upon your return here, or is it still going?
Oh.
Kind of a curveball on top of everything else this morning.
I told y'all Feb 23, but now we got another sweet deal going. 0% interest for up to 3 years, or you make no down payment, no interest, no payments for 18 months. Imagine having those beautiful Pella windows and doors installed, but not having to make a single payment on them for a year and a half. Take advantage, because this only goes until Leap Day, which I think is that Friday?
How do you not know what
When's
Leap Day is?
Well,
no, it's Feb 29. I don't know what day of the week it is.
It's Thursday. I was going to say, he knows what the date is.
Okay.
Today's the 26th.
I also know that Pella's expert team installs year-round, and they'll customize any new window or door to match your home's unique decor. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
The Scouting Combine kicks off this week. Brian Gutekunst will talk tomorrow. Matt LaFleur, well, he talked last week to us when he introduced Jeff Hafley, but he won't be talking at the Indianapolis Scouting Combine because he ain't going to be there, and he's not alone. We'll talk about it next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. Even when you think you know what's going on,
the Chefs are 7, and they cannot win a Super Bowl.
You can never be too sure.
Until Taylor Swift, on her birthday, says no to Kelsey with an engagement ring.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Does he have to ask her before getting the ring? Or no? Can he just give her the ring?
Mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they call a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable, but a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at AdventKnows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
Hey, it's Toby from Wendy's. Picture a Baconator. The 6 strips of Applewood smoked bacon, the hot and juicy beef, the melty American cheese, the pretzel bun. Wait, pretzel bun? A pretzel Baconator. And it's only here for a limited time? This changes everything. Like what I'm going to order today, and tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Pretzel Baconator today.
Limited time only. Or participating U.S. Wendy's.
Get ready. This week, Staples has deals so good, you're going to want to sit down. Are you sitting? I'll wait. Great. Right now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs. That's up to $180 off desk chairs, up to $180 off computer chairs, and up to $180 off gaming chairs. So hurry into Staples now for the Staples Sit-a-thon and grab a seat or two. Ends 3/2. In-store only. See associate for details.
Hey, it's Gary Olson here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? No matter the season, rain, snow, or shine, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is open for you. A top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. Just $35 an hour gets you a round and puts that summer feel back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Your bathroom is boring and basic too. It seems like there's nothing you can do. A better bath awaits. You'll feel brand new, relaxing in a world of peace at the Bath Authority.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. Right now, schedule your free in-home estimate and get $1,000 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. Restrictions apply. A better bath awaits.
You're our priority at the Bath Authority.
ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here to tell you about one of the best purchases I recently made, an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. It's an easy-to-install sauna that is great for a post-workout, travel, or long-day detoxification, and it has a rapid heat-up time. Using Good Health Saunas can also help reduce stress, improve circulation, and make your skin glow. Got an athlete in your family or just someone with an active lifestyle? Infrared saunas are perfect for muscle and tissue recovery as well. Learn more today at goodhealthsaunas.com, goodhealthsaunas.com.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
The sky and the stars glow for you. Go see the world, cause it's all so brand new. Don't close your eyes, cause your future's ready to shine. It's just a matter of time before we learn how to fly. Welcome to the rhythm of the night.
So Matt LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Robert Saleh, although he may be changing his mind per Mike Florio, and Mike McCarthy are all confirmed as not going to the Combine. I mentioned Rob Domofsky said that according to his NFL Nation brethren, sounds like 12 coaches in all are not going to attend. Tausch, we talked a little bit about this before you left. I just don't understand this. It makes, and maybe I'm just old school, but I always felt like the more information, the better. And there's value in that. And there's connections that you make that maybe someday you're going to be looking for a defensive coordinator, and it's a guy that you've talked to before at the Combine. You ran into each other at St. Elmo's and talked about how spicy the shrimp cocktail sauce is. I just don't get this. Do you?
No, I don't. And I didn't get it when this whole trend started. I think McVay started this a couple years ago.
He did.
And it seems like whatever Sean McVay does, everybody has to just follow suit. And Sean McVay's done a good job. Obviously, he's a Super Bowl champion, and he got his team back from salary cap hell, and I think everybody thinks he's a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand when you're asking 300 of the top prospects to come into your league, and your head coaches don't have the time to come down there and interview and mix it up with them because they're too busy. They spend 19 hours a day breaking down film. It's a week where you're going to be forming the biggest piece to the new additions on your football team, and potentially, core guys that are going to be a huge part of your team moving forward. I don't know what is so important for Matt LaFleur or Mike McCarthy or Sean McVay to be doing back in their respective hometowns in the middle and the end of February. Then if you could sit down and talk to some prospects that you like or that your scouts are like, hey, we like this kid, talk to him, run through some plays. I know it's arduous and it's a long deal. And
it is.
You got to go to St. Elmo's. But that's part of the deal. And when you're asked, I don't want to use the term disrespectful because it's not that.
Ooh,
but it's
I
not
know what
the
you're
other
gonna
side
say.
too. What am I going to say?
You're going to say that it's disrespectful to these players who are going through this meat market, if you will, that you don't care enough about them to show up, and they're going through a process which is arduous for them, and you can't come for a week and watch.
The process sucks for players.
Was I right?
You sit there and you get through all this medical. They have you go through every hoop. They have you taking psychological tests. They got you running. They got you doing all these physical things. And every coach that I've ever heard or GM has said the interview process is really important because you want to get an idea. You can talk to their coaches, strength coaches, high school coaches, and they're going to give you the truth, but it's going to be covered. These guys want their players to be successful at the next level. They also want to be honest with the evaluators, but don't you always want to see it for yourself?
Right.
Don't you want to get the test? Don't you want to? What's the old Tommy boy about the guarantee in a box and then the butcher? I want to see it. I want to see what is happening and how this person reacts, how they draw up a play, how they think on their feet. And you're not going to get that because you're breaking down last year's Lions game, which, by the way, you have all of March, all of April, all of May, all of June. And if you really want, do like Longo and take all your film on your vacation and do it on the beach.
Yeah.
You got 6 days here to break down and get into the young prospects' heads, and they're there putting in all their effort, and you decide as coaches it's not important enough to be there? I don't get it at all. I don't understand it for a bit.
Are you talking about the quote about sticking your head up a certain
butcher's
area?
butt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But wouldn't you rather take your butcher's word for it? All right, so I don't know what's more important either. Much to your disappointment, and I hate letting you down, but I did not get to ask LaFleur publicly in his press conference why he wasn't going to the Combine. So that'll be a question I'll have to ask him in another manner. I don't know what his answer would be. And if it's that their input into the scouting process is not all that significant, then my question would be, is that the case for all these teams that these coaches aren't going? I don't understand it. I am curious from your own experience. You obviously talked to a lot of teams while you were there, right? It's a gauntlet of little interviews and whatever else. Was there any inkling from the Packers? I know you've talked about the Seahawks maybe being interested in you in the draft. Did you get a vibe that was a real possibility, or do you leave there with your head just swimming with no idea?
No, you don't have any idea, but it was still good, obviously, to talk to the Packers, and you do get a good idea. I went into I want to say it was Washington. I went in and I thought I had a meeting with them, and when they shunned me away, I kind of had a feeling they weren't going to pick me. I said, no, we're good. And I was like, well, I'll take a hat. And they're like, no, you're good. Get out of here. And
they didn't even give you a hat?
No hat, no swag. A lot of other swag, but not from the Washington, at that point, Redskins football team. So you do get an idea, but I think players, they're also looking at this, and they want to get in front of the coaches. They want to get in front. Obviously, the position coaches, I believe, are still going, right?
I don't know the answer to that. I would think so, but I don't know that for sure.
I would think that the O-line coaches, and I know, I'm sure, some development people. I'm sure there's a lot of staff going, and maybe Matt LaFleur is just like, I don't have anything to do with the draft. I don't get to put my input in, so the hell with it. I don't know if that's a component to it, but I have a hard time getting my head wrapped around. There's that many more important things to building your team than going down to Indy and actually watching and getting to go face-to-face for 15 minutes with a lot of prospects that could be walking in your building next year. And instead, you're breaking down what happened in the first Lions game on Amazon in September. I can't get my head wrapped around that.
Well, I'll inquire about exactly what the Packers' plan is there. By the way, as Tausch likes to point out, the Packers have 5 picks in the first 91 selections That's day 1.
167.
And day 2. That's kind of projected as of right now. We don't know that for certain, but there are some compensatory picks to be had, etc. The Packers picks that we know for certain on day 1 and day 2. 25, that's the first round pick. 41 and 58, those are the 2 second-round picks, the Jets and the Packers' own. And then 88 and 91 in the third round, that's the Packers' original pick and the Bills' third-round pick that they got for Rasul Douglas, and a 5th-round pick, which they gave up as part of that trade. Speaking of draft picks, the Packers obviously had a pretty strong draft last year, and 2 of their draft picks are working out together. And I was reminded again, why do I even bother with social media? I will tell you that story after Tausch tells us about what AmFam and the Badgers still have cooking as we go into, I believe they play tomorrow night at Indiana.
We got
Peacock tomorrow night.
We got something new. Calling all Packer fans.
What?
Yeah, well, the 2023-24 hoop season been winding down.
It is.
You missed your chance. It's over. That part's over. But calling all Packer fans, American Family Insurance wants to see you and a friend in Detroit for this year's draft.
Jesse!
How fun is that?
I'm in.
They might even throw you some Detroit pizza. Enter the Dream Draft Day sweepstakes for the chance to win 2 tickets to the draft, travel, and hotel accommodations to Detroit. And you get a custom jersey. Jesse, what would your custom jersey be?
Jelly.
Did I have to answer?
Yeah. What number? What you putting on the back?
Jelly 0.
This has never come up, but in my fraternity, my number was 65, but I can't claim 65 around here. That one's kind of taken.
Is that right?
Wow,
yeah.
A couple 65s.
Uh-huh. So I don't know what I would do.
That means that this was good karma that you and I are working together since you're 65, I was 65. Well, anyways, you get all this stuff, the travel, the hotel, the jerseys. I bet they'll throw a breakfast coupon at you, too, that you'll actually be able to redeem at this Detroit hotel. Go to amfam.com/Packers to learn more and enter. Again, what a deal. People love the draft. It's going to be coming to Green Bay, but this year, Detroit, AmFam wants to get you. This is a tough ticket to get, and AmFam has you covered. Again, amfam.com/Packers to learn more.
In the fine print, does it say anything about you will be traveling with Jesse Nelson of Wilde Tausch fame, or are there any other little tidbits that maybe in the fine print you didn't see?
I haven't looked over. This is obviously a new read, so I have not looked over the fine print. But
no
I'm
purchase
sure
necessary.
As this thing continues,
void in certain states.
No, I do believe there's no purchase necessary.
You have to travel with Jesse Nelson. They're all. It's really small.
Well, Jesse could be your Detroit tour guide. I don't think he's going to get to go to the draft, but he could be your tour guide.
Still need to go get some pizza.
Unbelievable. I still can't believe you went there. You never tried the pizza. That's it for our draft talk. But I want to get to Dontavion Wicks and Jaden Reed. I don't know how often Tausch during his playing career went and worked out with his other offensive linemen during the offseason. He'll explain that to us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You've heard me talk about the results mentality has had on my life, but don't just take it from me. Jason has had success too, thanks to mentality.
My only regret is I didn't do it sooner. Knowing once again I've gotten the treatments done and continuing, I do feel stuff does hurt a little bit more, but I'm 40, in my 40s, and that's going to happen. But again, the energy levels, it is above and beyond. Again, I'm back in that age where I'm like, this is amazing.
Get started today at lowtusa.com.
For general contest rules, visit espnwisconsincontest.com.
Milwaukee, it's time to lace up those shoes for the 12th annual Lucky Leprechauns 7K, hosted by Left's Lucky Town on Saturday, March 9th, benefiting the MAC Fund, Midwest Athletes Against Childhood Cancer. Register now and experience the excitement. Participants get 2 free beers, a stylish race shirt, and a blingy medal to show off. Stick around for the post-race party where you can roast marshmallows, enjoy Tito's ice shots for charity, listen to live music, and much more. Register now at LuckyLeprechaunRun.com and be part of Milwaukee's biggest St. Patty's Weekend celebration.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tausch here for my friends at Kohler Services. Thinking about updating your bath or shower? Well, turn to Kohler Services for end-to-end bath and shower remodeling. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get a free toilet with your Lugstone shower purchase, and you pay nothing until 2025. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Do you love winning? This February, head to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee and fall head over heels with the Love It or Leave It $400,000 game show. Thursday nights, you could play the Love It or Leave It game show where you can love your prize or leave it for another. Play with your club card to earn drawing entries. Top prize is $10,000 in cash. It's time for Love It or Leave It. Only at Potawatomi. Learn more at pacebig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hey, remember when we were having conversations without words like inflation, recession? Yeah, I miss those days too. So at Quick Trip, we're feeling a bit nostalgic. So we've lowered the prices on all our take-home meals. Every day, not on second Tuesdays or every Good Friday. Every day, make your next meal a trip down savings lane with chicken, bacon, mac and cheese, just $4.99. Or spaghetti and meatballs, $5.99. Quick Trip. We got mealtime savings nostalgia covered.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Young, dumb, and wild and free. When I close my eyes, I can see you in my sweatshirt, dancing around that college bar. These days I don't know where you are, but I get to keep these memories forever. Oh, I remember. Oh, I still can't hear third eye.
So I know I need to do a better job of not letting this stuff bother me. I think I've gotten better.
So, Wilde, yeah, before you get into that, I just saw something, and Peter King retired.
He did.
Good for Peter, great career. But from Albert Breer, I think it was his understudy at some point.
He was.
Mm-hmm. And Marvin Harrison Jr. not going to the Combine. I legit, obviously for me, Combine was important. I was a late pick.
Sure.
Didn't have a ton of tape. But if you're a top 3-round guy, coaches decide they ain't going to go. To hell with it. Why am I going? You can come to me. I'm going to be a lot more comfortable in my home. I'll run at my college. I'll train there. And I think Joe Thomas hit this really well when he was discussing his draft prep, and obviously it worked out pretty well for him, 3rd overall pick, Hall of Fame career. It's more about getting ready for the season than it is to run a fast 3-cone or to run a fast 40. There are guys that it's important to that should go, but right now if you're looking at it and saying, okay, well, you know what, the coaches, they don't even go. Marvin Harrison, why the hell would he go? He's going to be a top 5 pick.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing good is going to come from it. He's either going to get hurt or he's going to run slower. Or people are going to, pick at him. You leak scores from their Wonderlic.
Right.
The players should just say, you know what, man? Nah, that was an old deal. You guys, McCarthy and all these other coaches are going to say they ain't going to go. All right, cool. We're not going to go either. How's the NFL going to handle that?
I understand the world is changing, right? I mean, there are guys who are not playing in bowl games to stay healthy for their NFL prospects of their career. There's the transfer portal, there's NIL, all this stuff happening in the college game. It would make sense that this would leak into the NFL, and I agree with you. If I am, Caleb Williams is not going to work out at all at the combine.
Don't even go.
He's going to go for the interview process and for the medical stuff.
Why? He's going to be the number 1 overall pick. What are you doing? Hey, you come to me. Hey, this thing's all about leverage with everything. Now, if you're a 5th-round pick, you better get your butt to Indy because you want to work.
Right.
If you're going to be a first-day guy, I'm good. You can come to me in March 15th on my schedule where I'm going to be comfortable. I'm not going to let you get after me. Why are you doing it?
Mm-hmm. So you think
you're going to give all this
be a
money.
trend?
Yeah, well, it
Do you
should
think
be.
this will be a trend?
I just feel like this used to be, a thing that the NFL community is a big deal.
Right.
And for a lot of players, it's a big deal to get invited to the combine. Braylon Allen, he needs to be there. He needs to run. He needs to show because he's probably a late pick. But if he's going to be a first-day guy, what on earth would he be doing there?
Where are you going to draw the line?
So he pulls.
If you were, let's say you decide to add to your work schedule, and you decide to be an advisor for an agency.
Yep.
If players come to you and say, Tausch, should I go to the scouting combine? Where is your line of demarcation where you say, yes, you should go versus no, you should not?
So if you're definitely a top first-day guy, you don't go.
First day, so first round.
I think the tough part is that a lot of that is speculation. And by the way, there are guys that will run a fast number, put up a great RAS, have big hands, do all the stuff. If my player is really smart and is really good on the grease board and is going very media friendly, head on down because it's going to help you. But for most of these guys, if they're not, I think what the coaches are trying to show you is it's not that important. Scouts would tell you differently, but hey, tough break. And again, everybody runs faster at their home facility. I think everybody just is more comfortable. And part of this whole process in going to the combine is to break people down mentally and see how they react. You're up at 6 a.m. getting a breakfast, no voucher necessary. You go through the bench press and you go through all this. Then you sit through interviews. And you're up until 9 or 10 at night, and then you get up the next morning, do it again. And they want to see how you react when you're tired, when you're a little grumpy. And all of those things, why not say, I want to put my best foot forward? I'm not going to let you do that. I've already see a bunch of, I want to say it's one of the big agencies have advised all their players to not do any of the Wonderlic stuff. That trend's only going to get more. And by the way, I think these NFL head coaches are telling you, go for it. We're not going to be there. I don't blame you if you don't either.
So their lack of attendance, you think, supports the position of players that this isn't that important?
Well, how would it not? How would it not?
I agree. If I was the reason I wanted to confirm that is if I'm the NFL, then I'm going to say, look, this is starting a spiral with the players. You have to attend.
So, Jason, one of the things that I found really interesting about being on the NFLPA rep board was you'd listen to the whole process on the negotiations and everything else, and you knew that they'd always win. That was always going to be the case for all the reasons I've said for the years.
Yep.
Guys don't want to give up a year of their money, But one of the things I always found interesting about this was the NFL would never let their contract run out before the combine. They always wanted that combine to be a part of all the CBA, that would be where if there was a labor thing or anything else, the combine needed to be done. And you always would think, well, the coaches don't even care. Why? And I think a big part of it is it's because it drives the machine.
It does.
So much of March, April, May, February, March, April, and all the way to May. And the NFL can't be out of the limelight just dealing with the labor issues. So that was always something that was a non-negotiable for the owners. And it never made a ton of sense to me. And then you start looking at it, and the NFL better be careful because, yes, they're going to put it on NFL Network, and they're going to stream it, and they're going to get a ton of love. But if it starts spiraling, as you put it, the way it is, and you start seeing the Marvin Harrisons and your stars, guys like the good underdog story for a little bit. Stars sell. And if your stars aren't there, are you still going to be able to sell it? I don't know if the answer is yes to that.
You're right about it driving the machine. I mean, this is the unofficial kickoff of the new season every year. And look, it is still it's still a big blanking deal. Like, this is where all the initial conversations occur. All the agents descend on Indianapolis.
All your contract stuff, and you get an idea where teams are leaning and what other teams want you. And yep.
I'm guessing that Russ Ball will meet up with David Bakhtiari's agent and say, hey, thank you for your service, but just so you know, deuces B.
Deuces B.
So I just
DB.
Indeed. I just don't, again, and I sent a text to someone because I'd like to get clarification, A, on if the assistants go, and B, what is the reason behind it? Like, quite frankly, what is Matt LaFleur going to be doing instead? Because I am intrigued by this, and he's not alone. It's not just him. It's not just the McVay, Shanahan, LaFleur cabal either. It's expanding now, and Mike McCarthy not going. Mike McCarthy used to drive to Indy from Green Bay. Jason, you got to drive. Don't fly. You got to drive. You get all this time. You get caught up on all your calls. You talk to friends that you don't talk to often enough. It's great. It's a nice, easy drive. So I did it one year, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I think I'd rather fly, but then I just don't go at all.
No,
but he loves.
I don't know if there's a direct. I don't know if there's a direct to Indy from either of our locations.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
Milwaukee might have one, but yeah, Indy is, and especially the way air flights are going. I'm with Mike. I stand with Big Mike on that.
And the beauty of it is, you can hit a bunch of quick trips during the drive. Now, he's not driving from Dallas. In fact, he's not going at all. But if he did, he would not be as fortunate as we would be because we would hit plenty of quick trips on our way.
By the way, guess what happened last night? We didn't get fed on the plane.
Oh, sure.
Which I'm not mad about. But we landed 3 to 4 hours late.
Quick trip right by Dane County International.
We're driving home, and I said, what are we going to do for dinner? We took the hassle out of planning it, and we stopped at Quick Trip. And yeah, not the fried chicken with the bone in. We went with the tenders, which it would have been great if it was Wednesday, because obviously on Wednesdays it's $9.99 for that 8-piece 10D. But we got the tenders last night. Today, it's Monday, $5.99 for a rotisserie chicken. Again, what's great about that, you can have the meal tonight, and then you can shred the rest of it, put it in a soup. Wednesday's going to be a snow day. You can put it in quesadillas. You can have it all week long. You can order ahead for any of these chicken specials, plus pizza and other take-home meals available hot and ready. Download the Quick Rewards app from your phone's app store and select Order Ahead. In the app, you can order ahead, take care of the payment before you even get to the parking spot. Orders can be picked up in-store or even brought out to your car curbside. And don't forget, grab you some milk. Get Nature's Touch milk to wash it all down. Just $2.99 for a gallon of skim, 1, 2, or whole milk cow to store in 24 hours right from Quick Trip's facility down there in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
All right, we need to get to trivia, but I phrased my question to my person inside the building. All the assistants still go to the combine, right? Just not Matt? The reply was, I don't believe so. So the assistant coaches don't go either?
No, I'm sure the assistants go.
I don't believe so.
Doing there?
I don't believe so. I'll work on getting a clearer answer. Let's work on getting a contestant. Jesse, what's today's category and what caller would you like?
The sports weekend recap on a Monday morning, which I need. I watched Oppenheimer last night, too. You inspired me. So I missed SVP. I didn't watch a lot of sports at a wedding this weekend, so I don't even know if these questions are totally accurate.
That's no different than normal. Have you seen Oppenheimer yet, Tausch?
No, waiting. We got a big trip coming up over spring break, and we're going to watch it then. I didn't want to waste it, even though we sat on the plane. We got deplaned, which is always the worst. Everybody
got deplaned.
Everybody's sitting there, and we were on time at that point. And then the thing you never want to hear. Now we have a mechanic looking at da-da-da-da. But again, glad that they looked at it, took care of it. But you have to deplane, take it off, and then it was the constant dripping. 20 minutes we might be boarding. 40 minutes we might be boarding. An hour and 20 we might be boarding. An hour and 40. You get what I'm saying. A lot of drip.
It's too bad you didn't have Peacock on your phone. You could have just watched it while you were waiting for getting back on the plane.
I'm reading a great book on some stuff you guys probably don't care about. Alan Dulles and how the CIA is doing some stuff. It is a fantastic book. Gives you a great insight into the inner workings of stuff. Fascinating.
I was hoping we could talk about Oppenheimer at some point, but apparently not. Let's play trivia. Caller 7.
You and I could do Digi only, Jason.
Digi only, the breakdown of Oppenheimer. Caller 7 for trivia. Caller 7, 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller 7 will play the Sports Weekend Recap Trivia next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And sponsored by American Family Insurance. Keep the good times rolling every Sunday with GKB founder and CEO Craig Karmazin on Sunday Karma.
Everyone's using Daniel Jones as why Jordan Love's going to get paid all that money. I think it's the opposite. I think it's what you just hit.
Right.
I think that it's more of like, hey, be careful. Don't just jump into paying someone unless you're sure.
Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin.
Is that how you manage?
That is not how you manage, but that might be the way that the Green Bay Packers organization goes about their business.
It's the way the Green Bay Packers...
we know they go about their business like that.
Sundays from 10 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin.
Hey, Wayne, shopping for a new door? Do you need something more dependable?
Yes, something that's durable, dent resistant, knows how to take a hit, and is going to last for years.
We're still talking about the door, right?
Oh, yeah, right, of course.
Wayne Larrabee and Jeff Levering shopping together at Pella? What next? How about 0% interest for up to 3 years? Or no money down, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details on March 2, 2024.
Join the Milwaukee Bucks on February 27th as we celebrate historically black colleges and universities at our HBCU game presented by JCI. Enjoy pregame, halftime, and postgame events that honor the legacy and excellence of historically black colleges and universities and those who attended them. For more information and to purchase an HBCU night ticket package, visit bucks.com/impact.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
People who suffer from arthritis are getting real pain relief with exciting biologic therapies at QC Kinetics.
The success rate is there, and there's no better way to treat yourself when it comes to dealing with pain.
Meet Tyler Vale, co-founder of QC Kinetics, who says they can't cure arthritis, but they can treat the pain.
If you think of the tide coming in and out on the beach and what it does, it erodes the sand, right? Can't stop the tide, but eventually when the sand or the beach gets bad enough, we backfill that beach with sand so that we get generations of enjoyment with that beach again. And the same thing happens with your knee or your shoulder or your hip or your back. We want to backfill the problems that have happened to this point. I'm not stopping the tide, so I'm not stopping the arthritis, but I want to get generations of enjoyment out of those joints again.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Learn more about how restorative biologic therapies can get you real and lasting joint pain relief.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey, riding with you every mile since 1977.
Check out our brand new Hyundai dealership, one of the largest in the Midwest.
Step inside of our state-of-the-art showroom where you can view our new Hyundai models and some of our finest certified pre-owned.
We've also expanded our service center, staffed by our factory certified technicians.
And right next door, we've started construction on our all-new Genesis of Waukesha dealership.
But we're not just building walls, we're building careers.
So if you're looking for a career with great benefits and opportunity for growth, Boucher is the place for you.
At Boucher, we ride with you every mile.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Let's play some trivia. Let's welcome in our contestant. He is a veteran of the trivia battles. It is Jerry in the Prairie. Jerry, good morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Do you have a guesstimate on how many times you've played? I have a feeling, because we haven't heard from him for quite a while, I think you may have overtaken Chef Ed as our most frequent contestant.
I have no idea how often I've played.
Okay, I'm sure Jesse's kept track of all that sort of stuff.
What about Scuba Chad? Scuba Chad had a good run there where he was.
I don't think he played that often, though. And I sources close to the program tell me that he called in on one of the days that you weren't on and turned down being the contestant because you weren't here.
He's done it twice now. He's done it twice.
He's got a hotline to Jesse, though. Holy cow.
He just, I don't really want to play. I just wanted to know if I could get the number right. Get out of here, Scuba Chad. Let everyone else take care of business here.
That's very on brand for Scuba Chad. All right, let's play trivia. Jerry in the Prairie. Tausch, you have question number 1 on the weekend sports recap trivia.
All right, Jerry. Who won the Stars Junior Tournament down in Dallas this weekend? Is it the...
You already told us the answer.
I know. I wanted to see if Jerry was listening. Fans of which college basketball team followed up an upset win of the 8th-ranked Duke Blue Devils with a controversial storming of the court, leading to Duke player Kyle Filipakowski being injured after coming into this? Did Wilde write this question? What the hell's going on here? Will, did you write this?
It's not that
I
hard.
did not.
All right, who did Duke beat and storm the court? Is it Wake Forest,
No,
Virginia
Duke
Tech, or
beat them.
Big
They lost to
Linda's
Duke.
Vanderbilt Commodores?
It was Wake Forest.
Wow. That was a word salad. That was a word salad.
There's a couple of not entirely perfect wordings in there. But yes, Wake Forest beat 8th-ranked Duke despite being favored by 2.5 points at home, which I believe is
Did
why
you guys
Jesse's
know who
calling
this
it
Kyle
controversial.
Filipowski is, too? Did you guys, have you heard of Kyle
Filipowski?
Filipowski?
Filipowski.
Kelly
I don't know him.
Filipowski's brother, Kyle.
I don't know, but
Kyle
I saw him.
Filipowski.
I saw him hit a fan on their way by right before he got run into. So it was not ideal. It was a bad situation for sure. All right, Jerry, question 2 is this. Which Big Ten school hit a buzzer-beating 3-point shot on Sunday to snap a 17-game road losing streak in conference play? Was it Michigan, Ohio State, or Rutgers?
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to say Ohio State.
You would be right. Boy, they've really turned it around since they fired their coach.
Yeah.
Nice work. All right, Tausch, question 3.
All right, UWGB men's basketball lost to IPFW on Friday. What does the P stand for in IPFW? Is it Presbyterian, Purdue, or Primary?
Oh, my gosh. I thought Jesse said these were going to be easy.
I thought they'd be easy for you, Jerry.
Let's go with A.
Well, there goes your perfect week.
Oh, well.
Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne. Not to be confused with...
I would have taushed it.
You would have gotten it wrong twice?
Oh, really?
My second
Primary?
guess would have been primary.
Yeah. That's like their UW Whitewater, UW Oshkosh. They do IUPUI, which is Indiana University, Purdue University at Indianapolis.
Yeah. Huey-Puey.
Huey-Puey, as they like to say, yes. Are they in the same conference as Bradley?
No, Valparaiso's now in with Bradley, but Huey-Puey, I don't know what they're in. I thought they might be Horizon League, but I think that's IPF. I don't know.
They've got a nice court when we used to play pickup basketball during the scouting combine when people actually went to it. All right, Jerry, you got 2 out of 3. That means you got 3 of the possible 4 entries into Friday's drawing. Always good to hear from you, buddy. Thanks for your loyalty to the show.
Thanks. Love you guys.
1 for 1 on the love you
Jared,
guys.
1 for 1 on that. Jason, what's the lost and found policy at airports? Do you know that?
Uh-oh, what'd you lose?
Well, I'll tell you that next.
After you tell us about Coors Light, unless, of course, you lost a cooler full of Coors Light, in which case that would really be perfect.
I had a couple Coors Lights, and it was brewed with a 3-step cold process: cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged, so it is made to chill. And there you show. Dallas was beautiful. Had my Pella socks rocking with my Coors Light. What a win that is. The mountains on Coors Light, was that? Yeah, I probably drank that a little slower because it doesn't look like the mountains were It started off, they were baby blue. That's when I knew it was cold activated and chilled to perfection. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Kind of disappointed there's not more brands in there. We've got Under Armour, we've got Pella, we've got Coors Light. Were you wearing that nice hat for Johnson & Sons Paving while you took that photo?
I was not. No, I had
Tito's
one of the
scarf?
things that one of the things I've really enjoyed. I've been getting socks from partners. So I have some Gordon Flesh socks that I don't know if I sent Jesse that one. I have Tito's socks. So I enjoy a good pair of socks. So I'm sure I'll talk to my friends at Johnson & Sons and we'll maybe get some Johnson & Sons socks.
I can knit some for you.
The big concrete. Oh, there you go.
All right, so we've covered your
You look frumpy. Would you say that's a frumpy look that Jason's got right there, Jesse? That's very frumpy.
I just thought that I feel like my photoshopping game has improved. I put myself on a crazy cat lady who has a matching sweater as her cat because I've been home with the cats.
The cat looks great. Looks like it's really well done. I don't think you know what the hell you're doing when it comes to crocheting.
I don't. I wouldn't. I would never claim to have any idea. But for those of you, this is the kind of stuff you miss when you're not watching on the video feed. All right. So we heard about the brunch debacle, the breakfast debacle. We heard about your travel issues.
Yeah. Now I lost my great pen that I've been using for 2 years.
Think you lost it at the airport?
No, I didn't lose that there, but it's not here, and I'm irritated about that. I'm losing everything. I'm losing. I don't know what the hell's going on.
So I guess we'll find out what Tausch lost at the airport, and also why he asked us if in a hotel you would rather take a shower or a bath. That'll kick off the 10 o'clock hour. So stick around. It's Wilde Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Pick up the best wild bird food for less during our KT sale this week at Fleet Farm. Get 20 pounds of basic blend on sale for only $6.99. Save on a 35-pound bag of Birders Blend for just $21.99. Plus, we carry over 150 varieties of wild bird food, so you'll find something for every bird in your backyard. Save on everything you need for your everyday life at Fleet Farm.
Hey, this is Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. One of the best decisions I made recently was getting an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. They're a local business that's been around for 2 decades, based right in Appleton and Waukesha. Good Health Saunas are easy to install, cost as little as 25 cents a day, and include a true lifetime warranty. Even firefighters all across the country trust Good Health Saunas for sweating smoke out of their skin after fighting fire. Learn more at goodhealthsaunas.com. That's goodhealthsaunas.com.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Out of Wilde and Tausch begins now, and I would like to begin with trying to guess what you lost at the airport.
Yeah, really good idea.
So you're coming back from Dallas.
Okay, so I'll give you a little. It was on the way out, not on the way back.
But you wouldn't have taken like one of your valuable Tito's scarves because it's not going to be cold down there.
It was 75, beautiful weather down there. Okay.
You lost your swim shirt.
That's one possession I'll never lose.
Help us all.
No.
What'd you lose?
But that's all your guess?
No, I have a guess.
Well, I have a guess. It's 10:08. I was trying to get back on the clock.
Was it a hockey stick?
No.
Nope.
Your book that you're reading that Josh DiMaggio recommended for you.
No, I'm 300 pages in. Good book. It's a long book.
How many pages is it if you're 300 pages in?
Oof.
600 pages. So
600 pages?
Yeah, it's a big old thick book. Yep. So I have this sweet bag, and Jesse has seen it. It's leather.
I've seen it.
It's one of my. Oh, you've seen it too.
Your
It's one of my
Indiana
favorite
Jones
Christmas
bag,
gifts
yeah.
of all time. It is. It's fantastic. I love it. Leather is hard to wear in. I mean, I take this thing everywhere. Matter of fact, doing the Badger games, people thought I had a radio in the back of it. Like I was doing stuff because it's so big, because Sarah measured my back. I have a wide back. She measured it, so it's a perfect
You do
fit.
have a wide back.
You know, it's nice, and I enjoy it, and I get a lot of compliments. Even the kids on Max's hockey team say it's got style, and I don't get any style points from anybody on anything. So I love the bag. It has a pouch in the front, so it's a big square box bag, basically. That at some point you wear it enough, leather gets softer. The front part's getting softer. Those side edges are just so beautifully built,
firm,
that it's been tough. But so I have like my sunglasses and some other stuff that I put in this pouch, like that's inside the bag.
Okay.
And then I put my toiletry kit in the bottom. I put clothes. I stuff it in there, and you stuff stuff because it's tougher, obviously, to fold. Stuff it in there, and I had the Apple iPhone charger that I got one for Christmas. The kids were telling me it wasn't working. It worked for me, but it didn't. And then I went on when we were down in Florida, it didn't really work. It worked sometimes. So before I leave, normally, because with the Badger stuff, I'd have it in my bag, and we'd be going somewhere every week or 2 weeks. I took it out. Old girl said, hey, make sure you put a charger in. I said, okay. So she grabbed one and put it on my bag. I put it in my bag, and then it's one of those things where, again, you put it through a little ring, and then you latch it, and then you pull it back down. So it's latched, so it's hard for me to explain, but it's on the front.
So it's like
and
a
you
buckle.
latch it, and then it closes. Yeah, it's a buckle, exactly. So we get there, and the flight's delayed an hour. Okay, so we're sitting there, and Max and I are both reading our books like good readers. And I think I took my charger, but my phone was charged. So I wasn't sure. Then I'm thinking I put it on the table, because we said the new Madison Airport's sick. Like, it is beautiful. They got couches and chairs, like sit back, chill chairs in the new segment of the Madison Airport. It is beautiful.
Okay.
Should be promoting it. Jesse, get on that. That'd be a great partner. So I think I left it on the table.
At the airport.
At the airport. So I get to Dallas. We sat away from the check-in because these chairs are comfy, and we wanted to kind of just be there. So I couldn't really hear. So we ended up going out. We boarded a little later than we should have. Not rushed, but a little bit like, oh, we got to move. So we get to Dallas. I get Max up in the room, and then I go try to find him some food. I come back up, and we have the charger in the hotel room. And I said, Max, is that yours or mine? He said, that's mine. And I'm looking through it, and I said, well, no, you grabbed it out of my bag. I don't care. You can use it. He's like, no, this is mine.
Uh-oh.
No charger anywhere. So I believe it's at the Madison Airport. Call the Madison Airport. You leave a voicemail. That ain't going to do anything. I get home last night. We got back again, as I've told you many times, 4 hours late.
Yeah.
And I want to go in and just see, hey, if it's there. It's a long shot. Talking to a couple of the moms that are on the flight with us, it's not going to be there. But give it a shot. Well, everything's closed because it's 10 blank and a clock, and we're supposed to be there at 6.
Uh-huh.
And now, do I go back to the airport? Do I just eat it and say, tough luck, Buttercup? What do you do in that case?
So I guess I'm a little confused. Do you have some sort of fancy schmancy phone charger? Like I have Apple products, because as you have pointed out so eloquently, so frequently, you're trapped, basically. Right?
Yeah,
so we all have iPhones. We all have iPads. But I have these cheap cords that you plug into a little brick that you could plug any USB into.
Yeah.
And it's like $3.
Well, no, I mean, I lost the whole thing. And, Jason, again, can I just go buy a new one? That's what I'm going to end up having to do. I don't like just throwing stuff away.
I understand, but I guess didn't you buy one while you were in Dallas? Like, how did you charge your phone the whole time? So you shared one?
I used Max's because we shared one. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's nice. Sharing is caring. Well, it is if you use your phone a lot and it's running in my room. The word I'd heard from you most recently was that you were starting to have problems with your battery again because it's a scam.
I got to get a new phone. Yeah, I got to get a new phone, and that's where I'm like, did they change the charger up? But I hate losing stuff, especially self-made errors. I hate it. It drives me nuts because I am very hard on my kids about leaving stuff behind and making sure you take care of the stuff that you got.
Sure.
And then here I am all loosey-goosey with this phone charger.
Way to set a good example.
So what are the odds? Jesse, any chance you could call the Lost and Found Department and see if they'll answer and see if we can't figure out if there's something there?
Can we call them live on the air?
That's what I'm asking.
That doesn't sound like a good idea. Why don't we do a digi only? You and I can road trip over to the airport, and I'll film you walking around demanding answers to find your whatever you're looking for.
Your $3 charger.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to be. I don't think the juice is going to be worth the squeeze. Unfortunately,
kind of like the scouting combine.
You could offer some breakfast vouchers to the first person who finds it.
I do have a pocket full of breakfast vouchers to Moxie's.
So just to clarify, though, it is just a regular cord. It's not one of those
it's a phone charger.
Right, but they have these nifty pads that you set your phone on, and it charges in the back when you're, say, doing the radio show from your office and you have your headphones in the little jack at the bottom, so you can't use that charger. But you just lost a cord and a USB port, right?
Yes. And the problem is I can't for certain say that's where I lost it.
It's going to make it hard for them to find it for you.
90% sure that we did. And if you're there, Jesse, if you see it, would you turn it in or would you just pocket it?
If you're at the airport right now, could you please look for Tausch's charger?
No, Max went as we were walking back last night to luggage claim, and he looked for it there, and it was not there.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably turn it in to the person near the gate that you're at or whatever, but it's also a charger you could buy at any store ever for $5. Just go to a store and buy a new one. Or you don't have any extra ones laying around. We've got 100, not 100, that's not big. We've probably got dozens of phone chargers between our house and up north where we go during the summer that are just laying around. You can't just grab an extra one somewhere and be like, here, I'm just going to use this now.
Jesse, here's the difference between me and you, though. My grandpa once said, waste not, want not.
Was he the one who originated that phrase?
I didn't know that.
Wow. Grandpa George.
Wow.
Waste not, want not. And
cutting edge.
At some point you can just say, I'll just go buy a new one. It's no big deal. Or you could say, God, I'm irritated with myself. I don't like this. Let's try to rectify the issue.
Or you could complain about it on your radio show.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm not blaming Madison Airport. I'm not blaming anybody but me.
You're questioning. You're questioning whoever the unknown person is that found your charging cord. You're questioning whether they did the right thing and turned it into Lost and Found.
Yes.
Okay. And instead of pocketing it or perhaps just throwing it away in the nearest trash receptacle because
I don't think Grandpa George would like you too much with your wasteful mentality of just buy a new one.
No. Don't be throwing me under the Grandpa George
saying,
bus.
just throw it away and get a new one.
I'm not saying that I would do that. I'm saying that perhaps the person who found it did.
Now I lose my great pen that I click on air. It's not here.
That's a loss for
having
all
a
of
tough
us.
one, man. Tough 24 hours for Old T.
I feel like I want the last 12 minutes of the show back. $5 charger. You want me to call the airport, go over there, find it for you. You already wasted time coming back on the trip. Just go buy a new one.
I'm going to, Jesse, but this is where you and I are just so different.
It's a phone charger. It's not like it's some irreplaceable special souvenir or object or clothing.
What if I said I got a great text when I was charging that phone with that charger and it's sentimental to me? That charger allowed me to have a great moment with my iPhone.
I wouldn't believe you.
What if I said
terrible? It's a terrible story.
But what if I said it?
But here's the problem. Here's what I don't understand. I know you love the bag that Sarah got you that is custom tailored to your wide back. But that really had nothing to do with the story. Like, I thought, oh, my God, he lost
the bag.
He lost the great bag. That's terrible. And then it turned out to be a $5 charger that you lost.
No, I think what the reason is because
Didn't you think the same thing, Jesse?
They've probably got 2 or 3 stores at the different airports you were at that sell those things for everybody to use. You probably passed like 100 of them on. Yeah.
While
Uncle
I love my bag,
Grandpa George should also said, "Don't lose your stuff."
That's what he did say.
Waste
Take
not,
care
want
of your
not.
business. I didn't, and that I honestly thought about that as we were flying back. It's like, man, Grandpa George would be pretty irritated with me right now because I wasted.
He's not the only one.
And you can't want. The point on the bag is the way it is constructed, things can slip out. That's the part, unless you tie it tight enough. That's the issue with
the buckle.
So are you Trumaning or are you blaming the bag?
No. I'm blaming myself. It's a user error. It's a user error.
I don't know, Jim. The buckle was not tight enough. If you didn't have to tighten it so far, I wouldn't have lost my $5 charger, and then my grandpa wouldn't be disappointed in me.
Got a wide back.
R.I.P., I'm sure. All right. Are we really going to now turn around and ask you about your bathtub experience?
I'm not calling the airport, just so we're all on the same page.
Oh, of course you wouldn't. That's just whatever, isn't it? What is so if it's an iPad, are you guys calling the airport?
Yes.
Yeah,
because it's way
different.
$200.
Yeah.
Yes, that's totally different.
It?
Yeah.
I'd rather steal an iPad than a cord.
Are you telling me that if you lose your iPad at the airport, or if you lose the charger for the iPad,
I feel the exact. I'm going to tell you this. I feel the exact same way if I lose the iPad or the charger. 100% I do.
Get out
You don't
of here.
know me if you don't know me if you don't believe that's true.
So
I
believe
1,000%.
you.
Waste not, want not.
I believe you that your grandfather's.
If I left that book, I would feel the exact same as I did if I lost this charger.
The charger is probably the least valuable thing you had on your person that you could have lost. It is the most expendable item that you could have possibly lost at the airport.
All right, look.
Potentially.
Look, I appreciate that you hold this sentimentality for your grandfather's messaging about waste not, want not, which I still can't believe. What are the chances that your grandfather is the one who coined that phrase? It is so well known that he was the one who started. It's amazing. It's like my parents trying to convince me that one of my ancestors invented the lazy Susan, which I think is a lie as well. But
I never said he invented it. He is the person I equate.
There are varying degrees of waste and loss. And if you're going to sit there and try and claim that if you lost the book that you're 300 pages into, that you got 300 more to go, on the recommendation of Josh DiMaggio, which is sentimental in itself, that your good friend Joshy, Big Cat, suggested it to you. If you lost your iPad, which has all kinds of, it's where you're going to watch Oppenheimer at some point, perhaps. If you're going to try and say that losing the book and losing the iPad are exactly the same, there's no varying degrees of disappointment over loss. If you're going to say those two items are exactly the same as losing the cord, then I can't help you. Sorry. Tell us about Kohler Services. Let them
Jason,
help
it's
you
obviously different
with your tiny bathtub.
It's obviously different with personal things. Like, there are things that are really meaningful to you, but if you lose something, you lose it. If it's $20 or if it's $200, obviously, if you get the value matters to a certain extent.
You just said it didn't. You just said they all felt the same.
In this case, an iPad and the charger would feel the same to me. Yes.
Jenna in Pittsburgh. Hey, it's not wasted, Tausch. Someone got a new charger to use.
Oh, Jana. Good stuff, Jana. Good stuff from Kohler Services. And I sent this picture to Jesse because this bathroom had the worst layout in the history of hotel bathrooms. And I don't think I'm saying this in a crazy way. For a nice, newer hotel, that is the space they use. There's no shower in there. There's no shower in this big space.
Can't tell from the photo.
Instead, they throw a shower that's about 2 feet by 2 feet. Old T's a little jimmied. It was this. You had this beautiful place. They don't put a shower in there. They jam a little baby shower in. I went right to KohlerServicesWI.com. Said y'all need to get down to Dallas, get this blank fixed because this is ridiculous.
No, you didn't.
And if you need to update your bath or shower, Kohler Services is the place. End-to-end bath and shower remodeling, where Kohler Design Consultants. I guarantee you this: Kohler Design Consultants had nothing to do with that photo Jesse just put up. They would never do something that wasteful. They'll get you, and they'll have their installers and consultants do the right job for you. Family-owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote. Tell them whatever they did down at this hotel, I want the opposite. With fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com. Why would you do that in a bathroom?
All right, so I feel better now. For those of you that aren't watching on the video, it's not the greatest photo. It doesn't really demonstrate how poorly designed the bathroom is, apparently.
Hey, my thumb is not in the picture.
Why didn't you just do a wide shot of the whole bathroom so we could understand it a little better?
It's a fair criticism.
I was running late. I was trying to get down to the breakfast.
Charging cord.
Had low battery.
I sprinted to the breakfast that they didn't serve.
This sounds like it was the worst trip you've ever taken. Just so you know.
No, but the hockey and the van ride outside of Dr. Mike Kelm giving me a cold. Everything else was great. The van, I didn't think I'd be. As you guys probably know, I'm not the most patient cat. I think you guys can agree with that.
This is the first I'm hearing of
van life. Van life makes you be patient. You got 4 other families with kids that are squawking in the back and fighting for seats, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. And I would do it again, which I didn't think I would say when I first jumped in that van.
So here, I was all prepared because I was going to apologize to you because when you sent the "would you rather bath versus shower in a hotel," my response was, "Well, how big is the bathtub?" And I thought that might be misconstrued as a big guy joke, but it wasn't intended that way. So if you took it that way, I'm sorry. If it's just a tiny little regular bathtub in your hotel, then there's nothing great about taking a bath at a hotel. But if it's like some sort of like big with the jets that you might not have at home, then I might take a bath in a hotel. But as it turns out,
how many baths have you taken in a hotel?
I've taken a couple during my travels when it was a really nice bathtub. Yes, I have. When? 2014 season in. Was it Indy?
So you're telling me you got done with Brandon Bostic, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go sit in the tub and get a bath. That's what you're telling me.
It's relaxing.
Get the blank out of here. What are you talking about? Oh, I got my salts. I'm gonna take me a good old bath.
Yeah, one of those bath bombs or fizzes out while you're in there. It's great.
Yeah.
Writing by candlelight.
A glass of wine and
oh my God.
And a book about the CIA.
Please no one Photoshop that.
We will not talk about that next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. In season, off season, draft season. Whatever season it is, we are Milwaukee's place to talk green and gold. Listen, watch, or stream live whenever, wherever. 94.5 ESPN.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Their place or yours. The Delafield Brewhouse All Events Catering with 5-star food and service. The Delafield Brewhouse in the heart of Lake Country. Call today for more info. Thirsty? Their craft beer is good to go. Stop by today. Drink ale, live lager. The Delafield Brewhouse.
With your Saganiac Planning Marquette Recap, I'm Ashton Rotman. Another huge night for Cam Jones and the Golden Eagles.
Cam Jones, step back three is good, sweet, pure. 34 for the second straight game for Cam Jones.
Marquette rout Xavier 88-64 on Sunday night. The second straight, as you heard Homer say, 34-point game for Cam Jones. Next up, a Wednesday night matchup against Providence. There's just 4 games left in the Big East Conference schedule for the Golden Eagles.
Don't miss the shot when it comes to offering medical coverage to your employees. Saganiac Planning can coach you on ways to balance costs and prioritize care for your employees with coverage provided by United Healthcare. For more information, call Steve Fluellen, 262-783-6161. Steve Fluellen, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Insurance coverage provided by or through United Healthcare Insurance Company or its affiliates. Administrative services provided by United Healthcare Services, Inc. or its affiliates. Health plan coverage provided by or through United Healthcare of Wisconsin, Inc.
We've told you about Moses Hadara,
the diamond cutter who created the Kessler 81.
The magical diamond that vibrates with light.
Kessler's works with crazy diamond cutters.
Geniuses who create wonderful, spectacular,
crazy diamond shapes.
The one thing these crazy genius diamonds all have in common
is that they explode with light.
The Kessler Emerald Cut diamond sends out rippling waves of light, like water lapping onto a beach.
The Kessler Square Radiant Diamond glows like the sun on the horizon.
Sometimes sunrise,
sometimes sunset.
Come to Kessler's.
Come to Kessler's.
Come to Kessler's.
Ask to see the rippling waves of light, like water on the beach.
Ask to see the glow that looks like sunrise and sunset.
Ask to see the Kessler Crazy Genius Diamonds.
See them for yourself.
See them for yourself.
See them for yourself.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here, and if you're like me, you're probably budgeting out the rest of your 2024. Well, now's the time to set preferred dates for booking Johnson & Sons Paving. Whether it's asphalt or concrete, they set the standard for your needs. Maybe it's patching now, but a full repaving later. Talk with a Johnson & Sons project manager and set yourself up with a 5-year game plan. Booking work now gives you all the time needed to get the right paperwork in place. Get started now at johnsonsonspaving.com.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's, flavor is our family's business.
Spending more time at home? Don't forget that 94.5 ESPN's on your smart speaker. Just ask Alexa to open 94.5 ESPN. 94.5 ESPN on Alexa is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, quick question, because you're a hat guy.
Yep.
You got that great Johnson & Sons paving hat that you've been wearing a lot lately. I've been cleaning a lot of stuff up with the girls being gone until tomorrow night. I came across my 1994 brand new, still have the tags on it, Rose Bowl Champions hat. So this hat is 30 years old. What do you think?
Okay.
What do you think?
I think it's just like Darren Ravel had said with boxed up
VHS tapes
and stuff. I think don't take it out of the box and you could sell it for big money.
I did some looking around on that, and I actually have another one. I do still have the tag, but not worth as much as you'd think, unless Barry Alvarez wanted to buy it.
Somebody will pay for it.
Yeah.
Just like that, if somebody found that phone charger, I'd probably pay more for it than what I'd go get a new one for.
Joe in Manitowoc. What a coincidence. I found this really cool charger at the airport yesterday. Somebody just left it there. Finders keepers, I guess. That is not the...
I can't argue with Joe on that.
So
That's
great.
fair.
So Tausch's grandpa said, waste not, want not. And apparently Joe in Manitowoc's grandpa taught him finders keepers, losers weepers. Speaking of finders or losers, the Packers must decide on a variety of free agents, and with the Indianapolis Scouting Combine starting, our buddy Rob Domofsky is down there, although he said he might not bother to go next year. Might not be worth it to him either. It's not worth it to the coaches.
The hell with it. Yeah.
But Goody is going to talk tomorrow. He's at the podium for a little while, and he's going to talk with the assembled Wisconsin media in a group setting before that.
Why, if your kids are gone, why didn't you just drive down there with Domofsky? Get some one-on-one with your boy Goot?
Well, first of all, he's flying.
Tomorrow.
First of all, he flew. Second of all, he's we don't get it. There are no one-on-ones. Like when the last time I went to the scouting combine, we were doing the show. And I got one-on-ones with Goody, LaFleur, John Schneider. It was great.
Schneids.
Yeah, my guy Schneids. I'm sure he'd still do it.
The singer?
Yes, he did and not only that, he then came back and sang 2 of Tausch's headlines this season. You don't get those opportunities. It sucks, and it's not worth the juice is not worth the squeeze, as someone once said. Did your grandmother come up with that, or is that a Tausch original?
No. It didn't do anything with the juice and the squeeze. She always had a lot of cookies. Always a lot of cookies in the house.
I'm a big fan of that. So Rob is down there, and one of the things that Rob is great at, I mean, he's really, really good, is working the agents. He plays the agent game extremely well. And I'm guessing that he will be tracking down the agents for Keyshawn Nixon, David Bakhtiari, Darnell Savage, Devondre Campbell, Preston Smith. And while they don't have any clear-cut free agents that they absolutely positively must re-sign, which I noticed Rob used that same phrase that we used on the show with him during the week, there's some pretty big decisions on guys that aren't free agents that they have to decide whether they want to keep them or not. One, I think it's safe to say they've decided on David Bakhtiari. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. I've said that for a long time, yeah.
I know, but not everyone listens every day. Do you think they've decided on Devondre Campbell?
Yeah, I think he's gone.
And then the other one that they would have to decide on, which, as I said, based on his making fun of me text, or I think you were the one who actually pointed it out, that he won't have to define RG and P, that's Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith, as defensive ends, because now they'll be defensive ends on the depth chart. It sounds to me like that the head coach is expecting P to be back in GB.
Yeah, I think that'll be, I don't know what his cap hit is, but yeah, I think
I can give that to you.
They obviously, Preston Smith has been durable. He's been a really good player for the G&G. So, yeah, I would think that P will be back, and I don't know if that'll be one of those deals where they'll try and lengthen it out and stretch the cap. But now with the salary cap number exploding larger than they wanted, maybe I'm sure Russ knew that this was what was going to happen. But they also know they have a big number coming at Jordan Love that they need to account for within this. And the thing that the Packers have done that has been great is they don't commit more than a couple years of guaranteed money to almost everybody.
It's not great for players. It's great for them, though.
No, it's great for the organization. It's not great for players. But Jordan Love will be able to get what he's looking for. And then you'll have to work around that, and that's going to be something I'm sure will be done probably sooner than I think most people think, because I think both parties want to get it done. So when you look at that whole thing, the Preston Smith piece, I think he'll be back. Devondre Campbell and Savage are the ones that I'm super intrigued by. I don't think Campbell's back, and I wonder if Savage is going to need to be in that situation where he needs to prove it. I don't know how many other teams are clamoring for his services at a big price tag. Maybe he'll say, new coach, I'll get a new chance to prove. And, new system, and he likes it where he's at, and he knows that this is going to be a good football team. And that Jordan Love component to this, I don't think I can over-exaggerate how important him showcasing how good he was is to bringing people in. You can always get people with money, but a lot of times things are pretty equal. The value of a player's position is usually what it is, unless you're a standout guy. Is the Budda Bakers or some of these other players that, I think Budda has a year left on his deal, but if some of these other players, if they're looking at things all equal and I want to win, Jordan Love showcased that the Green Bay Packers are back and will be winning for a while, and that's a real enticing thing when all other things are equal.
Okay, so just for clarity on Preston Smith, his base salary for this season is scheduled to be $5.7 million. He has a $5.4 million roster bonus due to him on March 15th. He also has another roster bonus per game, a workout bonus. His cap number for this season right now today is $16.5 million. If they were to move on from him, he would have a dead cap of roughly $14 million, which means that they would save $2.5 million on the cap if they moved on from him before June 1st. I do not think they're going to. I think he is one of the few veterans that they want to keep, but they're going to have to do something with that number because I don't think they want to carry him at a $16 million cap number for the season. And they have to do it by March 15th before that roster bonus is due. So that's where that stands. They can save some cap space by moving on from Devondre Campbell. And as we've talked about many times on this program, they can save $21 million in cap space by moving on from David Bakhtiari. So
yeah, and can people that think that they're going to trade David Bakhtiari for like a top pick, let's not listen to whoever those people are. I don't want to listen because that's crazy talk.
He's not. Right now, he has not made it through all the rehab from the last surgery.
No, I understand. I'm just letting you know. I see things on Packers Twitter, and I just want to make sure if you see something like that, it's crazy talk.
If you see something, don't say something when it comes to that. All right. All that cap space does not go to Associated Bank, but the money comes from there because they are the Associated Bank is the official bank of the Packers. If you got a check from them, if David Bakhtiari, for example, did, it would have that Associated Bank logo on it. Instead, I'm sure he got the direct deposit during his playing time, but maybe he had Packers checking from Associated Bank because you get all kinds of great perks when you do, including your Packers Debit MasterCard and your 10% off discount at the Packers Pro Shop, both in-store and online. So go to AssociatedBank.com/Packers to find out more. While you're there, you can also find out about the great customer service that you get with Associated Bank. We are going to play a little Need It or Don't Need It with some of the guys that we aren't sure about whether or not they'll re-sign them that are free agents as the scouting combine kicks off today. We'll do that next. It's Wilde Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Join the Milwaukee Bucks on February 27th as we celebrate historically black colleges and universities at our HBCU game presented by JCI. Enjoy pregame, halftime, and postgame events that honor the legacy and excellence of historically black colleges and universities and those who attended them. For more information and to purchase an HBCU night ticket package, visit bucks.com/impact.
Are you tired of looking at a dirty, dusty, and cracked garage and looking for a fresh new look? Hi, this is ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta, and I'm here to tell you about Floor Shield by Showtime Floors. Using a state-of-the-art coating 4 times stronger than traditional epoxy, it's tough enough to be used in military bases and airports. Floor Shield is certified as an anti-slip floor and also eco-friendly, all while being UV stable, and my favorite part, easy to clean. This makes it perfect for outdoor spaces, just like your patio. Check it out at ShowtimeFloors.com and work with a specialist to transform your space in as little as one day.
Hey, it's Kyle Walls here from ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Bruston Nortman, and I gotta tell you about one of my new favorite ways to watch games with the Underdog Fantasy Sports app. A pick'em fantasy game where you can win real money. It's easy to find in your app store and even easier to use. Here's how it works. Pick 2 to 5 players from at least 2 different teams, then select higher or lower on those players' stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. Yeah, it is that easy. Especially with the hoop season hitting high gear, you know I'm watching every game with the Underdog Fantasy app. So right now, head to their easy-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up using promo code KBN. Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. That's promo code KBN. Join me and get the Underdog Fantasy app so that you can enhance your game watching experience just like me. Must be 18 plus and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Patients everywhere are experiencing joint pain relief thanks to QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. So how does this non-surgical approach work? QC Kinetics Medical Director Dr. Aaron Wolkoff explains.
Is like when you get a paper cut and the cells that come onto that scene first stop the bleeding, and then it recruits more cells to form new skin and new soft tissue. And then you look down a week later, 2 weeks later, and it's like nothing happened and that paper cut never existed.
In this same way, QC Kinetics uses your natural biologics to help repair and restore aching knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
We take those same similar cells in different areas that are arthritic, are painful, and we cause this kind of internal self-healing that can resolve patients' pain.
Relief without surgery. See if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Hi, I'm Natalie Shepard.
And I'm Jessup Ricebeck from the CBS 58 News at 10.
We hear it all the time from viewers. Television news is too negative.
That's why we're trying something different at CBS 58. In our newscasts, we focus on what's important to Southeast Wisconsin, and that's not necessarily crime.
We want you to know the great things happening in our hometowns as well.
What's going to help solve problems here and uplift our viewers?
We are your hometown station, and that's the type of news we're going to bring to you.
Join us every night at 10 on the CBS 58 News.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Sense of time or 2 weeks feel like days, Medicaid in the afternoon, and I just want to know.
Time to play a little Need It or Don't Need It, Packers Free Agency Edition, presented by Fleet Farm.
Need it or don't need it, presented by Fleet Farm. Remember, if Fleet Farm doesn't have it, then you don't need it. Fleet Farm, serving the Midwest since 1955.
All right, fellas. Based on Rob Domofsky's article at ESPNWisconsin.com, some of the names that we're simply going to ask. Do you believe the Packers need to re-sign any of these unrestricted free agents? Pretty straightforward game. Let's start with Keyshawn Nixon. Tausch, need it or don't need it? Re-signing Keyshawn Nixon.
Yeah, I think we need that one. I don't necessarily know if Keyshawn Nixon needs to be your slot corner, but I do think he needs to be your return guy. And he also has shown himself to be at least adequate as a defensive back. Now, do I think Green Bay wants to get better, and especially if they're going to do more man-to-man coverage stuff? Yeah, I think that's going to be a goal of theirs. But if you don't bring back Keyshawn Nixon, is there somebody that you really love? And then the question is, if that person is Jaden Reed, you're going to run into that same thing. Jaden Reed's a dog. You're going to want him returning punts and kicks. You're going to want to have him back there when he's going to probably become your if he's not your go-to guy, he's right there. Then are you going to draft somebody and reset it again? I don't know. Again, everything will come down to cost, but I believe Keyshawn Nixon is more valued here than he would be anywhere else. So I'm going to say yes, need him.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to split these up into two segments because the Keyshawn Nixon question is getting more complicated because of what the NFL may very well enact for the 2024 season. So let me say this.
Getting rid of the kickoff.
I really like Keyshawn Nixon.
I knew you would.
He's one of he's one of my go-to guys in the locker room. He's one of the guys that speaks the truth.
Hey,
I also
Jason,
I also have a story for Mother's Day that I want to write about him. I don't think I'm rambling.
Keyshawn Nixon, about how great he is and you love him and all this other stuff.
I didn't say I loved him.
Can you power rank your 3 guys that you would be least upset with leaving the team?
Current roster?
Yep.
I can count them down the way you do. Number 1
Devondre Campbell.
Is Devondre Campbell. I'll have to think about 2 and 3. I don't. But here's the problem, and here's why I said that I would like Keyshawn Nixon back, because he is very helpful to me doing my job, and I really want to do that Mother's Day story about him and his mom. But the XFL's kickoff rule is expected to be heavily discussed and very well could be instituted for the 2024 season. Do you know what the XFL kickoff rule is?
Yeah, they start them way back, so there's not the same collisions.
The kicker lines up at the 30-yard line with 10 other members of the kicking team lined up at the opponent's 35, 5 yards away from the return unit. And the only people that can move until the ball is fielded are the kicker and the returner. Now, I know you're not a huge XFL viewer, and the XFL doesn't even exist now. They've merged to the UFL. But if you're going to do kickoffs like that, does that not lessen the value of a 2-time first-team All-Pro kick returner? And make it much harder for him to have an impact on the game? And in turn, if you don't think he's your slot guy, or you might want to upgrade that, doesn't this affects his free agency more than perhaps any other free agent in this year's class?
Agreed. Great point. I saw that little trinket of information get thrown down across my desk, but I didn't really put 2 and 2 together. I don't think the NFL is going to do that right now. I think that's a very bold move. They're going to. Are they going to just do it this quickly? I think they're going to want to implement, give teams a chance, kind of like what they did with the kickoff, moving it up and letting it kind of sort itself out. I mean, why would you not just kick it super high now? And I would think that most special teams, if you're down that far, you should be able to pin people. You should be able to pin people down incredibly tight to the deal. But the fair catch brings it out to the 25. I don't know if fans are ready to just completely get rid of the kickoff. And
but the NFL
are the studies
is
showing that I know they are. And if that is the case, Keyshawn Nixon's values, obviously it's dropped off by a ton.
That sucks. Sucks for him. All right, we'll do the next group coming up next. But I do want to remind you, I missed the balloon pop. I went to Fleet Farm on Saturday evening after I went and got gas, and I got some popcorn and all the good stuff that I get there. But I didn't get there in time to do the balloon pop. Instead, I was getting bird seed. I was on my to-do list from Paula while they were gone, and I saved, and so can you, on all your go-to wild bird food during the KT sale this week at Fleet Farm. You can shop their huge selection of KT and find something to keep your favorite backyard birds coming back for more. So don't miss the KT sale like I missed the balloon pop event this week at Fleet Farm. The other free agents will be explored next in Need It or Don't Need It. It's Wilde Tausch.
We run the Bucks because we run with
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
I cannot imagine that there's any way that he missed the game because he's unhappy that the game was on turf. I think that's preposterous to me.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30.
I thought they looked great. I got to be honest, I think that's what I kind of expected from the Packers.
Presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Also sponsored by Construction Business Group and Island Resort and Casino.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
ESPN Wisconsin's Wilde Tausch here for my friends at Kohler Services. Thinking about updating your bath or shower? Well, turn to Kohler Services for end-to-end bath and shower remodeling. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get a free toilet with your Lugstone shower purchase, and you pay nothing until 2025. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Bring friends and watch your favorite team compete on big screens. Grab game day eats in T. McSee's Sports Bar or celebrate your team's victory in Horizon's Steakhouse. To book your game time at the Island Resort and Casino, call 800-682-6040 today.
Hey, Wayne, shopping for a new door? Do you need something more dependable?
Yes, something that's durable, dent-resistant, knows how to take a hit, and is going to last for years.
We're still talking about the door, right?
Oh, yeah, right, of course.
Wayne Larrabee and Jeff Levering shopping together at Pella? What next? How about 0% interest for up to 3 years? Or no money down, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Conference 22924.
Q Club of Wisconsin is the hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what do you have going on over there?
We have so much going on. We're the place to be for basketball season, with TVs everywhere. Book a party in our VIP room, which includes a private pool table, 2 shuffleboard tables, and 4 dartboards. Sign up for summer bocce leagues now before they fill up. And of course, we've got our fish fry on Wednesdays and Fridays, where you know we pile it high.
All happening at the Q Club of Wisconsin, North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Check out QClubofWisconsin.com.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Now that we've discussed how Keyshawn Nixon's free agency is being impacted potentially by the NFL changing the kickoff rule, let's get to a few other players that are on the Packers free agent list and need it or don't need it, part 2, Jesse.
Yeah, we talked plenty about A.J. Dillon last week, so let's get some of these other ones. Yosh Nijman is an unrestricted free agent. Yosh Nijman. Need it or don't need it, bringing Yosh back. Old T?
I think, unfortunately, it's a don't need it. I don't think they love Yosh. And I think Yosh can go and play as a starting tackle somewhere in this league and get paid that way. So would it be nice to have him as kind of an insurance guy and, around if something happens to Sheed or whoever else they bring in? Yeah, it'd be nice. But I think for him and I think for everybody involved, the Packers are going to draft some young guys and develop them.
Mm-hmm.
I think Yosh Nijman's going to go get more money somewhere else, and kudos to him. That's what he should go do.
Do you think, you never faced this, but do you think with the number, he started 21 games in the league. He's still a pretty young guy. Do you think somebody's not going to pay him big bucks, but do you think somebody's going to pay him like they think he could be their starting right tackle? I think there's a chance that could happen.
Yeah, that will be really interesting to watch. I think, obviously, people are going to try to get him for as little as they can, but I think he'll be a starting tackle, and I would think that he'll get a contract that will be commensurate with that. So whether or not that's going to be top end, no. I think it'll be on the bottom end of it, but there'll also probably be some incentives and things that he'll be able to go. But if you watch around the league, Green Bay's O-line struggled at the beginning of the season, and I think it's a huge part of why Jordan wasn't as good.
No doubt.
When Elton was out and when Zach Tom was injured, it was ugly. When they're healthy, you give Jordan time. I think Yosh Nijman would be a big upgrade for a lot of teams, and I think somebody's going to find him and have him be available to play for them, and I think they're going to be pretty happy when they get him in there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty good bargain. All right, who you got next, Jesse?
How about your guy, Jason? You'd probably rather have them re-sign Rudy Ford than make a first-round draft pick this year. I know you love him that much. Tausch, need it or don't need it, Rudy Ford coming back.
No, you don't. I know Jason, that's his go-to guy in the locker room, so I'm always a little bit leery, but that is a position that needs to get, if you want more turnovers and you want your defense to be closers, close-up shop guys, he's done some really good things, but I don't think he's that guy. And whether that's a free agent or a young player that you're going to draft, that's a position that I think Green Bay can get markedly better at and needs to get they don't need both guys to be dogs. But you need to have a ball-hawking, tough football player that is somebody that is impactful, and I think right now they don't have that.
I think it's going to be a full reset there. Maybe they bring back one of the three, Jonathan Owens, Rudy Ford, Darnell Savage, but I think there's a good chance that they don't bring any of them back. Rudy Ford, he had a knack for the football. And he does hit when he hits, but he does miss tackles as well. He is not one of my go-to guys in the locker room, by the way. I don't think he enjoys interviews. He just happened to be available when everyone else was talking to the quarterback that one time, and that worked out well for me. All right, do one more, Jesse.
Darnell Savage. Might be the toughest one.
It is. This is a tough one. Because with a new system and a new coordinator, as Tausch said earlier in the show, maybe that's a new lease on life for him, and he can get a fresh start without having to leave, which you don't get very often in the NFL.
Yeah, listen, I want him back. I think he has proven that he can make big plays, but he is a liability, and he's missed too many tackles. So I don't know what Hafley's scheme is going to do to make that better, but you started seeing some things. I know he dropped the pick against San Francisco.
Didn't drop it against Dallas, though.
There. Made a great play against the Cowboys. I think he has that capability, but I'm always nervous. Again, he is a great example of being a first-round pick.
You're right.
And the old saying that not my Grandpa George told me, but somebody wise said,
Brad Childress?
First-round picks, finish it for me, Jason.
First-round picks have to prove that they don't belong. Seventh-round picks, like Tausch was, have to constantly prove they do belong in the NFL.
It's a great quote. And it's a very, very true quote.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
And he's had, and look, has he proven he doesn't belong? I don't think
he's
so.
A player.
But he's gotten more. If he had been a 6th or 7th round pick, they would have moved on from him.
Great job. Yep, nice work, Darnell. But thank you for your service. The fact that he's a first-round pick with those intangible numbers-wise and everything else.
Speed. Yep.
People think that they can, it could be different. Sometimes they're right, but normally you're not.
Tell us a little bit about Fortria, where we would all be first-round picks for their latest study.
Indeed, and if you're looking for a little extra cash and you want to buy breakfast instead of use the vouchers that they give you, Fortria's got a couple trials for you to get going. Healthy adults ages 18 to 60, BMI 18 to 32, study 2 stays of 15 nights, and you make yourself $14,000 for your time and participation. Another trial. Healthy adults ages 18 to 55, BMI of 18.5 to 32. That study involves 1 stay of 14 nights. You can grab yourself $6,566 for your time. Just go to FortriaClinicalTrials.com. That's Fortria, Fortrea, ClinicalTrials.com.
Kick off the 11 o'clock hour, which will include a visit from our Bucks buddy, Justin Garcia, scheduled to appear. Stick around. It's Wilde Tausch.
Don't go anywhere.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Right now, the prices of diamonds are probably the lowest we'll see in our lifetime.
Diamond prices are low, low, low. Here's why.
It was hard to meet new people during COVID.
When a person meets their soulmate, they usually get engaged about 39 months later.
People started dating again only about 36 months ago.
Most of the people who got engaged during COVID
or immediately after COVID
were already in a relationship before the COVID lockdown began.
The Wall Street Journal even published a story about all of this.
Low sales of engagement rings created a worldwide oversupply of diamonds.
But now, engagement ring sales are beginning to pick up again.
By the end of next spring, this temporary oversupply will be gone.
And diamond prices will start climbing like crazy.
If you ever wanted to own a big diamond, this is the year to do it.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
If you want to own a big diamond, the time is now.
They say love is a universal language. Well, that's definitely true if you're talking about bacon. I mean, who doesn't love bacon? Forget the chocolates. Give the gift of bacon. It's everyone's love language. And you're going to love it that our bacon's on sale right now. With quick hot savings, we're taking bacon down to $2.49 a 12-ounce pack. Limit 2. Savings on bacon? Whoa, that's 2 love languages at once. And we're multilingual like that. Quick Trip. We're saving your bacon.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy morning 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Wilde Tausch begins now, and in a few minutes we'll be joined by our Bucks buddy Justin Garcia to talk about the Bucks, who seem to be figuring it out. Still without Chris Middleton, by the way, which is an important piece of what they do, but they win at Minnesota and they win at Philly. Tausch, you are the resident Bucks fan. I don't know if you have any more Bucks games on the schedule. I know there's only 15 left that you'll be going to, but I think there's 24 left now. I don't know how many home games
There
left.
actually might be around 15 home games.
It could be. That's true. But are you feeling better about the Bucks before we talk to Justin? Because maybe he'll make you feel even better then.
No, I mean, I still feel like we're going to struggle at certain spots, but you have to be patient when you decide to make a big, bold move like this ownership group did with moving on and bringing Doc Rivers in. I guess I'm skeptical of Doc Rivers until proven otherwise. Doc has had great teams in the past. And Doc's group, for whatever reason, there's different reasons things happen. They only got over the hump the one time, and that was with a stacked team, and everything kind of fell their way. Mm-hmm. This team, I think, if you can get Bobby and Pat to play at a high level, this is going to, and Giannis said this after the break, where's Dalla Dame going to be at? Dalla Dame is the key to this whole thing. Giannis is going to be Giannis. Brook Lopez will be Brook Lopez. Chris Middleton's health, and can he guard? And then where's Dalla Dame at? Dalla Dame needs to be a closer and a stud. If he is doing that, the Milwaukee Bucks can beat anybody. Can he do that consistently? Is he going to hold up? Those are the questions I have. And if they can, I would think that they could beat anybody but Boston. I think right now Boston is your prohibitive favorite. Does that mean you can beat them? Yeah, you can beat them. 7 games, a 7-game series, there are no flukes. You're the better team. You handle their adjustments. I'll adjust off of your adjustments. But what it really says is my guys are better than your guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a 7-game series does. I think Boston has more talent than the Milwaukee Bucks. But I think Giannis is the best player on the court. And if Dalla Dame can be the next best and doing the things he needs to do on a more consistent basis, I saw a stat, Jesse will correct me if I'm wrong. I believe if he scores 30-plus, the Milwaukee Bucks are 19-0.
Wait, 30-plus?
Yeah, if he scores 30-plus. What, he averages 27, get to 30 and win. Is that what you're – why are you cackling? Like, is that some big number?
It's more chortling.
Guys score 150. You're scoring 140 points. Your best shooting guard, you can't get 30?
So you're saying that both Giannis we'll ask Justin this, but you're saying that it feels like a no blank stat. If he scores more than 30, you're going to win.
Jason – no, this is where, again, I don't want to get into being a basketball guy compared to sometimes media guy from the mid-2000s.
basketball guy and media guy.
But when Dan Marino would throw for 600 yards, that wasn't a good thing for the Dolphins.
No, that's a false equivalency. Come on.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's not. Dalla Dame is asked and needed to be that guy on this team. There's not as much scoring with this group, and they brought Dalla Dame in not because he's a great defender, but because he's a closer, and he's got the when it's time.
I'm sorry, he's a what?
A closer. When it's time, it's time. And playoffs are going to be Dalla Dame's time. So all of the other stuff is kind of moot, and he needs to be a big time scorer. He can't just be average.
Okay.
And if he is, I believe, and again, you can fact check me. I believe that number is 19-0.
All right. So first of all, as much as I love the idea of you as a basketball guy, and me being the media guy, Damian Lillard is averaging 24.5 points per game, which is not the same as averaging close to 30. So that's A. B. Giannis, you know him. Giannis,
I've heard of him. Yep.
Is averaging 30.8 points per game.
Okay.
So, if you could get Giannis, I bet they're undefeated when Giannis and Dalla Dame both score over 30. Also, I would think, in those 19 games that Lillard scored 30, I'd be curious how many Giannis did. But
what you're not getting, Jason, what you're not understanding.
Please tell me what I'm not understanding.
What you're not understanding is Dalla Dame isn't just your run-of-the-mill, guard.
No, I I understand your point. I don't think your numbers. Yeah.
I didn't bring the numbers up. Someone brought them up, and it's again. I know you don't care about
inaccurate numbers. Is what you brought up.
No, I didn't know exactly how many points a game he scored.
I'm also seeing 13-1 when Lillard scores 30, so we'll have to check on how accurate that is.
All right. Well, somebody gave me bad intel, but my point is
Grandpa
still the
George.
same. My point is still the same. Dalla Dame is what's going to, and I listen to the players, and they'll tell me what is needed. Giannis is basically saying, I need Dalla Dame to be a big-time Dalla Dame. And right now, there's been too much inflation against Dalla Dame. The value of Dalla Dame's 24 needs to be the value of 30 points a game. So 24 ain't going to do it. He needs to ramp up. Sure. And we're going to be a little worse defensively. We knew that when we made this trade. And we expected to be much better on offense. Sometimes we have, sometimes we haven't. But what Doc is trying to do is be better. The other little nugget that I found that I'm sure JG will agree with, that I saw, is that the transition defense under Doc Rivers is now the Milwaukee Bucks are the best in transition defense. That was not the case with Griff. And I think that's a big piece to what is going on. Now Doc's getting a little time with these guys. That needs to stay, and Dalla Dame needs to be a stud. If that's the case, the Bucks can win it. If not, it's going to be another run-of-the-mill disappointing postseason for this group.
All right, well, we'll see if JG has the accurate statistics on the Bucks' record when Dalla Dame scores more than 30 points. We'll also get his insights into how the Bucks' transition defense has improved, etc. But that will happen after Tausch tells us again about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And a great deal going on right now. 0% interest for up to 3 years. Or you can make no down payment, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. But imagine having those beautiful, sexy Pella windows and doors installed, but not having to make a single payment on them for a year and a half, and with interest rates way up and all the everything else. You're not doing anything for a year and a half. Take advantage of it now, though, because this deal at Pella only lasts till leap year, or leap day, February 29th. Pella's expert team installs year-round, and they'll customize any new window or door to match your home's unique decor. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
Our Bucks buddy Justin Garcia sets us straight on all the stats and shares his insight next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Hey, Wayne, shopping for a new door? Do you need something more dependable?
Yes, something that's durable, dent-resistant, knows how to take a hit, and is going to last for years.
We're still talking about the door, right?
Oh, yeah, right, of course.
Wayne Larrabee and Jeff Levering shopping together at Pella? What next? How about 0% interest for up to 3 years? Or no money down, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Conference 22924.
ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel. I've spent a while telling you about Mentality because it works. Not just for me, though. Take it from fellow Mentality user Jason. He's got a new lease on life thanks to Mentality.
The process was easy. It really, truly was. And the individuals that work at Mentality, very helpful, very respectful. It was an easy out. You go in a week after, they give you the results right away. And once you find that you're able to do it, just that thought, the energy already picked up a little bit. Most of it could have been mentally wise, but knowing that, hey, I get to start this, it was incredible.
Learn more today at LoTUSA.com.
He's the most interesting man in sports radio.
Well, should I have a chip on my shoulder that I'm not making as much money as Skip Bayless?
In his mind, anyway. The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
Homer, all the Packers and Jordan Love have to do this year is play like Aaron Rodgers and the Packers played last year.
The Homer Hour with Homer. Weekdays from 5 to 6. Right here on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live on YouTube.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because our home policies help protect your dreams and come with peace of mind. Save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. And its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
When we are talking about the marquee names, the name on the marquee in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes is the first name that we go to.
Yep.
And you do want to protect your stars, especially that star. We are a country obsessed with football and obsessed with quarterbacks. So I understand his thought process of we need to make sure that we're not having these conversations publicly about how to do anything to eliminate this guy because he's important to the vitality of the product. But also, Antonio Pierce is a head coach who's having to go against this guy and who knows that whatever we throw at him, he's going to beat us. He will find a way to beat us. So what is the only other avenue that we can do? We can physically wear him down. And I love that he's acknowledging that. He's saying Patrick Mahomes is so great. We have to attack him differently, just like other teams and other players had to do the same thing with Michael Jordan back in the day.
Death is the only punishment here.
Coming this February, FX's Shogun.
My master asks what you seek here.
To vanquish our common enemies. Based on the global bestseller by James Clavell.
War is coming.
The epic saga of war, passion, and power.
Let it come.
FX's Shogun, February 27th on Hulu.
If you only have a 401k, you're not getting the most for retirement.
Wait, what?
Add a Robinhood IRA on top, then they'll boost it by 3%.
You can do that?
And if you transfer in any retirement account, you get 3% on top of that.
Is there a limit to the match?
No limit. Robinhood Gold gets you the biggest contribution match of any IRA on the market. Sign up for Robinhood Gold at Robinhood.com/boost by April 30th. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Match on transfers subject to additional terms and conditions. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Too long since we heard this music, which means it's been too long since we've talked to our Bucks buddy. You hear him on the Bucks Radio Network. He's on the color on the home games. He's doing Bucks talk, and Bucks shots, and Bucks house with the real estate market. Everything you need when it comes to the Bucks.
I'm assuming those interest rates are affecting JG's Bucks house. I think it's tough.
All right, I feel like aren't they coming down? I thought they were coming down.
Flex. What is this flex that JG's got?
Hey, wait a minute. Were you not here the last time we did this?
No. I was.
Hey, I thought he was here.
I thought he was too.
Yeah.
Is this the first you're seeing of these shoes?
Dude, that is sick. Max would go crazy seeing that he has become a shoe guy, and now every time he sees an Air Force One with different colors, he's mixing and matching blue and red, and he is all in on the Air Force One game, and it looks like JG's got a pretty nice little collection.
If I may interrupt, for those of you that are not watching on video, if you're not watching on video,
it's not an Air Force One, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up in your middle column.
No, there's no Air Force Ones in my collection. There's some Air Max, some Jordan ones,
the Grinch,
some Dunks, the Grinches. Yeah,
Justin Garcia is our Bucks buddy. He joins us from his shoe closet in his palatial estate.
Hey, Jason, if you're interviewing, there's a new coach with the Badgers, and his last name is Grinch, would you bring anything Christmas-related up in your introductory meeting with this guy?
Coach, I hear you're a mean one. Is that an accurate depiction of your coaching style?
That would have been better than what I went with. That's not the road I went.
So here's the problem with that, and Justin, help me out with this.
Did you ask him if he stole Christmas?
Yeah, what did you ask?
Really good too.
What did you ask? Is your heart 3 sizes too small? Here's the problem. You don't think he's heard everyone possible with the last name of Grinch? Like, are you really going to cover new ground with those jokes?
Is Madison an upgrade from Whoville?
That one's not bad. He might not have gotten that one before.
That would have been better. Yeah.
So wait a minute. What did you go with?
I don't remember. I think that video
It was
coming
that
out
bad?
soon. I don't remember. It wasn't great. No, hopefully it gets chopped. But I
should have
don't know
asked
how
for
it-
our help. We could have helped you.
I screwed
like
that up,
we,
yeah.
like we asked Justin Garcia for help when it comes to the Bucs because we believe in experts, and he is definitely that. All right, Justin, help us understand. Look, NBA games are worth 1/5 ish of an NFL game, so we obsess over the 17 regular season games. 82 of these games are played in the National Basketball Association. There's somewhere between 15 and 25 games left in the season. What should we take from the win over the T-Wolves and over the 76ers in their last two games? Because before that, boy, were the Bucs the most popular team to criticize across all of media? People were getting after them constantly. Now they've won back-to-back against pretty good teams.
The Bucs and their coach, and thanks for having me, by the way, guys. But yeah, they had drawn quite a bit of criticism. I think what you take from these two games is they're headed in the right direction. Everybody's tossed around the numbers. I heard Tausch go through the Dame numbers. They're 21-2, by the way, in games where Damian Lillard scores 26 or more. So that seems to be the magic number. I did see that 19-0 when he's shooting 50%, but I mean, you would expect that. 50% is pretty good. That if a player shoots that from the field,
it's a good stat.
I'm thinking they're going to win. But their defense has obviously been much better. And transition, as Tausch pointed to, they've given up the fewest fast break points in the league since Doc Rivers took over. But all the numbers, really since the coaching change, and this isn't to pile on Adrian Griffin, but it just shows you how much, and I know you guys love this phrase, but they've just gone out and they grabbed the low-hanging fruit that they've kind of boiled down to what was causing these issues and how can we make the most immediate impact. The two biggest things are transition and rebounding, because the Bucs were getting killed in transition before, and they were not good on the glass either, and that was a staple under Mike Budenholzer for 5 years. The issues with those are, number one, if you're giving up transition points, you're going to give up a lot of points, and the Bucs are seeing teams run off of makes, which you don't see very much. The Bucs would make a basket, and the opponent's already down the floor with an advantage, but the rebounding one seemed to splinter a number of areas, that they weren't defensive rebounding at the rate that they typically do. A lot of that had to do with where you were positioning Giannis and Brook Lopez. You weren't around the basket anymore. You were playing on the perimeter. That led to a lot of blow-bys and points in the paint. And then those opponent offensive rebounds, which started to skyrocket really in January, that led to second chance points, which either was going to juice the opponent points in the paint, or as we've seen more times than not, if you give an opponent a second pointer with it, and that's what was happening. So since the coaching changed, they've really cleaned up those two areas. They've been one of the best rebounding teams in the league, and they've really cleaned up their transition. Fast break is a big part of that, but transition overall limited the amount of possessions that the opponent is running there. They've gone from dead last to the middle of the pack there, and that's taken away some of those easy baskets as well. And this is all without really layering in a whole lot of different looks from Doc Rivers, as he's kind of stressed, I don't want to overwhelm them. That, I don't want them spending time thinking about what am I supposed to do here. You get the sense based on who's running this defense and instructed them on what not to do. We'll weave in and layer in some of the newer things as we get more comfortable, but in the time being, don't do this. And he singled out, look, I love Damian Lillard. I don't need Damian going and trying to get offensive rebounds. That's leading to the transition baskets. That's boosted this defense from in the bottom 10 to now in the top 10 since this coaching change.
JG, was that an effort thing? Because if you're coaching little people It's an effort thing. Get back. You got to sprint. Was it an effort thing, or was it? What was the big thing? Because you just said, well, don't go down and crash the boards. What has been the big change?
Well, I think the big change is structure. And again, you can take this as let's pile on the coach that's no longer here, but that really is what kind of stood out. And I talked with a few other people about this. I don't know what to make of this, with Eric Main and with Dave Kane and a few others. So what is the strategy here? Because more often than not, you'll hear the coach lay out, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to crash offensive glass, or we're not going to do it. It's one or the other. And a lot of what we heard in those first 43 games was almost like a choose your own adventure. If you think you can get there, go get it. But if you have guys freelancing like that, you're not playing connected and together as a unit. And I think that was a big part of it, is you were seeing guys that were going in for a rebound, when in reality, you need to get back in transition. So to me, I think it was more about structure, and we've heard that come up quite a bit, not just with rebounding, but with a lot of things. Doc Rivers has come in, and he set a structure of here's the expectations, here's what we're going to do. And look, that's always going to be tough for a first-time head coach. You don't have that to lean back on. You have the experience of being an assistant coach, but Adrian Griffin had never worn the whistle before at any level, not just at the NBA, in college or high school. And that was part of the adjustment. So I think that's been what was lacking the most, is somebody coming in and saying, here's what we're going to do, but more importantly, here's what we're not going to do.
Yeah, that seems crazy to me. You get championship players that have been there, but I digress. I don't want to pile on, to use your term, on Adrian Griffin.
On the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. JG, what did you make of – oh, yeah, look at those oranges. What did you make of Giannis at the All-Star break saying this is Dame's team, we need Dame to, be the guy? Is that a mess? What? There's always these little subliminal, and it's not the same thing when Rodgers or somebody else would say it, but when Giannis said that, what did that tell you?
I think it's true, and we've kind of heard the same from Doc Rivers, too, in that I talk about some of the things that Doc has tried to put in place. Getting Damian Lillard going is one of the big ones, and he's kind of said from the start, I want the ball in his hands more. I know Giannis has been a great playmaker, and he's continued to grow there, and he can handle the ball, and he's deadly in transition, but I think he's going to be even more scary without the ball in transition when Dame is bringing it up the floor. And you do need to get Damian Lillard going and comfortable and get him into a rhythm for those numbers that we pointed to in the Bucks' success when he scores 26 or more points in his shooting percentages. So I think it's a recognition of that from Giannis. I also think it's Giannis, as he kind of talked a little bit more in that too, of, it's not as easy as everybody's kind of mentioning. And I think there's kind of some frustration there too when you hear, why aren't Giannis and Dame running the pick and roll so much? And Doc has talked about this too, of, okay, it's not that simple. It's not NBA 2K that if opponents see they're setting up that two-man game, they're going to blitz Damian Lillard to get the ball out of his hands, and then it's all for naught. So you need to figure out how can we set that up and how can we get to that. And you need Damian Lillard to have the ball there. But I think the biggest part of it is, Giannis will be the first to point out he hits the free throws when they matter, and he's off to a pretty good start in these two games at the free throw line. But one of the reasons why you got Damian Lillard was because of that. When you think about Dame time, and he's a 93% free throw shooter this season, best in his career. He's hit those free throws late, early in the season in some big wins. And his half-court offense is what this team was lacking the last 5 years. So I think it's a recognition there, too, of, look, I'm still going to get my 30 points, but we need this guy to be our closer.
Because we're 19-0 when he scores at least 30 points in a game. Talking with Justin Garcia, our Bucks buddy. Justin,
JG, can you explain to Jason that a lot of times when one person is dominant scoring, nobody else gets involved and you get beat? Like, I don't think Jason understands that concept. Can you
don't
explain
take this out on me
because
you had the stat wrong.
It wasn't me that gave that stat. That was a Twitter
You
stat.
gave it on the radio.
I did.
Now,
okay, it is on me.
Thank you, Truman.
It is my fault. Thank you.
It was played by Gary Oldman.
It's tough to get into a rhythm.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, it's tough to get into a rhythm, and then you run into the issue of guys that haven't had as many touches and are cold, that once teams start to load up and say, we got to get the ball out of his hands, then you're asking cold shooters to take over. I think you would point to a couple of weeks ago, the Timberwolves, when Karl Anthony Towns had 62 points, and they blew the lead and lost the game because there was no other offense coming anywhere else.
So they're 0-1 when he scores 62, which would go against everything that Jason just said.
I don't. Sure. If Damian Lillard is scoring 30 and shooting 50% from the field, I think they're going to win most of those games, yes, regardless of what Giannis might do in that game. Let's talk about the third member of their quote-unquote big three. You know, all these teams have them. And another factor in the way they've played, perhaps, is that they haven't had Chris Middleton. Now, you and I are big on Chris Middleton. What is the prognosis there? What is the expectation there? And how does that change their offensive paradigm, that then they would have three guys that are capable of scoring consistently, which I think would probably be very, very, very good for their offense?
So it sounds like it's close to his return. I don't think he's going to play in tomorrow's game just based off what Doc Rivers said, but it seems like it could be maybe a week from today that he's back, that we've heard over and over. He's close. He feels good. And Doc said before the game yesterday, I don't want to say he's going to play in our next game, but he's getting very close. So that's the encouraging part. And look, everybody has pointed to the offensive numbers because we'll rave about the defense. They've been sixth best in the league since the coaching change. They're 12th best under Doc Rivers since January 29th. And not to get sidetracked, the impressive part about that is the teams they've played. And 3 of the last 6 games, they've held opponents under 100 points. They did that once in the 43 games under Adrian Griffin. But you look at the 15 games they played since the coaching change, 9 of them have been against teams in the top 6, so playoff teams in their respective conference. You've had 2 against the Timberwolves, 2 against the Nuggets, 2 against the Cavaliers. Those are all teams in the top 3, and that's 6 of those 15 games. So it's been a very difficult schedule, and the 7-8 record, I think, is pretty good, all things considered. But offense is what people point to of, yeah, the defense is great, but what about the offense? It's dropped to 20th. But in those games, you know, you have to point out, Brook Lopez didn't play in 3. Damian Lillard didn't play in 2. Chris Middleton's played 110 minutes in those 15 games since this coaching change. So for all intents and purposes, he's been out 9 of those games. That's going to be a big part of it. But I think the encouraging part is their half-court offense has still been very good in those 15 games, even without Chris. 10th best in the league in the half-court, which is what you need in the postseason. The biggest thing to me, though, is those minutes when you have your 4 best players on the floor. You haven't seen it since this coaching change, but all season long, with Brook and Dame and Giannis and Chris on the floor, the Bucks have a 125.7 offensive rating, which would be the best in the league, and a 109.3 defensive rating, which, again, would be right around 2 or 3 overall. So with those guys on the floor, they've been very, very good. And taking it a step further, against the best teams in the league, if you look at the teams top 10 in net rating, the Bucks are 11-7, and again, that may not seem like an impressive record. It's the 3rd best in the league. So they are 3rd best in win percentage against the best teams in the league, and 3rd best in net rating with the 3rd best defense. So with their best players on the floor, they've been very good, and against the best teams in the league, they've been even better. The issue for the Bucks has been the teams that you're going to see in the next 2 or next 3 games, the Charlotte Hornets and the Chicago Bulls. They've struggled against those teams. They've played to the level of their competition. But these final 20-plus games, you know, those games against the Hornets and Bulls, and you got a game against the Wizards, those are incredibly important games because you have to establish some consistency, and you still have the toughest schedule left in the Eastern Conference. So those games you look at and say, I don't want to take an opponent lightly, but we should win this game. You got to win those games.
JG, can you count on Chris Middleton? You said all that stuff. That was all great stats, but can you count on him?
I mean, I think so. I understand where you're going, and I've heard it before, but it's the last couple of years that we look at. He had the one hamstring issue, and that was already almost 10 years ago, it seems like, 7 or 8 years ago. But other than that, I don't know that I can say he's injury prone when you look at, well, the Bulls game. He slipped on a wet spot, and that cost him the rest of that season, and then got another procedure on his wrist when he was going through rehab in the offseason. This year, I mean, Kevin Durant comes down in his landing zone and he rolls his ankle. So is that really, the guy can't stay healthy? I think it's just been more of unfortunate luck. And I do think with Damian Lillard, it helps Chris Middleton out even more, because if you didn't make that trade, Chris Middleton needs to be your best half-court offensive player. So that's where you would really notice, man, we really miss Chris in these moments. And you do. You still miss him. But with Damian Lillard, Chris Middleton's going to be your third option. And the expectations, you're not going to ask him to carry that half-court offense. So I think a lot of it is they're being very cautious with him because of that importance. But I don't know that you can say, man, he's injury-prone and can't stay healthy when you look at the last two injuries he suffered and just how freak in nature they were.
All right, Justin, I know we've got to let you go, but now I realize that Tausch was definitely here the last time you joined us with those shoes in the background, because
I know why.
You had the Dame Time watch,
it's right
and
here.
it still has not been delivered, has it?
No, it's still waiting for him to pick it up, so...
Well, maybe Max can come get it with the Air Force Ones that you don't have. So, Justin, I've heard you because, besides your mom, who I know listens to every word you say on the radio.
No, not even her. It's basically you.
I listen to you all the time because I'm in the car so much with Maddie for ballet, and I appreciate you keeping me company on my drives. But I've heard you talk about the schedule being the toughest for a while now, right? They had a couple of easy games, but this is a key portion of that where it's not quite as tough. When you look at this team, if you had to say today, on February 26th of a leap year, can we expect this team to be in the Eastern Conference Finals? Are you confident that this team, with all the upheaval and the coaching change and Chris Middleton's injury and the inconsistency of where Dame is at, do you feel good about where this team is trending, that we should at least see this team playing for the right to go to the NBA Finals?
Overall, I do. And I think the caveat is, as long as you stay on the line that you are, that 2 or 3 seed, I do believe they'll be in the Eastern Conference Finals. You have to avoid that 4 seed at all costs. Now, coming into the All-Star break, my level of concern was when you looked at the standings and you saw the Knicks have been red hot. They're dealing with injuries, though. Sixers, you don't know when Joel Embiid or if he's going to come back. Right. Those teams behind them, the Pacers, the Heat, and the Magic, there's a little bit of separation between you and them, but they have very easy schedules. The Cavs were who you were concerned with, and the Knicks getting healthy were the concerns, because with your schedule, if you go through any stretch of 10 games, 8 games, we're talking 2 or 3 weeks there, you're going to be in trouble if those teams start to pick it up. You're already 4 back of the Cavs in the loss column at the break. And, the other thing was the other part of it. You don't have the head-to-head tiebreaker against the Cavaliers. You split the season series, so it's going to come down to divisional record. Bucks had beaten up on the division for the last 5 years. That's not the case this year because the Cavs and Pacers have been so much better. They're 9-7. Their final divisional game is Friday against the Bulls, so you have to win that, and you need Cleveland to go 1-3 in their final 4 divisional games to get that tiebreaker. I still don't think the Bucks are going to catch the Cavs for the 2 seed because of that and because of Cleveland's remaining schedule. But I don't have a problem with being third and playing the Cavaliers potentially in the second round. The big thing is you can't drop to fourth, because that's a potential for disaster. If Joel Embiid comes back and the Sixers are the 5 seed, if you get past that, you have the Celtics in the second round and then the other half. So as long as they stay where they are now, I do believe they'll be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
JG, you're the best, man. We appreciate you. Go dust your shoes, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right, see you guys.
That is Justin Garcia. You hear him on the Bucks Radio Network all the time. Keeps me company to and from Milwaukee. Now there's another way to enjoy your Bucks material, though, and that, of course, is with Bucks Plus, a first-of-its-kind audio platform from Good Karma Brands and the Milwaukee Bucks. All you got to do is go to bucks.com Bucks.com/plus, or you can listen and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. There are 5 shows that are either live now or will be in the coming days. There's Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher. There's Thanalysis, which is our personal favorite in terms of the title, with Thanasis and his podcast. Yep. There's the Here District with Marcus Johnson and his son Chris. There's Bucks in 6 with the 6-minute recaps of every game in podcast form. And there's Courtside with Gail Klappa, all available right now on Bucks.com/plus. Whoa, Nelly is next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Associated Bank. Here in Wisconsin, we love our sports year-round, right down to the Packers games in the Lambeau snow. If you want to show your love for the green and gold every day, you got it with Associated Bank's exclusive Packers checking account. A one-of-a-kind debit card, a 10% discount at the Packers Pro Shop, plus everything you'll score as an Associated Bank customer. Best of all, you'll get a banking partner based right here in the Midwest. Visit AssociatedBank.com/Packers to get started today. You've got this with Associated Bank. Member FDIC.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza, as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store, and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
With your Saganiac Planning Marquette Recap, I'm Ashton Rotman. For the second straight game, Cam Jones putting on a Golden Eagle performance not to be forgotten.
Now he's going to back in, spins, turning with the left hand. Hook shot, no good. But it comes to Cam Jones. Open three.
Thank you very much.
You know it's going in. Sweet by Cam Jones, who's now up to 29.
He'd finished with 34 points, his second straight 34-point outing, and an 88-64 Marquette rout of Xavier on Sunday night. Just 4 games left on the Big East schedule for Marquette, and it starts on Wednesday against Providence.
For over 40 years, the folks at Network Health have been trusted experts in health insurance. Honest, hardworking, just like you, Wisconsin. Whether you need coverage for yourself, your family, or your employees, they've got you covered with individual family marketplace plans, employer plans, and Medicare plans. At Network Health, they do what's right because it's who they are. Call Aaron Belowski, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
On March 8th, the Ability Center is hosting its second annual Unstoppable Cup, presented by Baird, at the Harry and Rose Sampson Family Jewish Community Center. It's a 3-on-3 wheelchair basketball fundraiser for all abilities. Featuring Milwaukee area corporations and first responders representing 24 teams, the Unstoppable Cup supports the Ability Center's adaptive sports programs to help impact the goal of getting new sport wheelchairs in more gyms, more schools, and with more partners so everybody can play together. Support the Ability Center's Unstoppable Cup by visiting TACWI.org.
What is dedication?
People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike and you didn't? I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Thanks to Justin Garcia. Always great to catch up with him. Got a note from the villainous John Wesley saying, I love it when you guys talk Bucks. Look, here's the bottom line. This is a football show. We got a guy who played 11 years in the NFL, who knows the game inside and out. Football guy. We got me, media guy. But I've covered the league. This is going to be season 29 coming up. Not as long as Peter King, but this is why we rely on experts. So when we can get Eric Name, when we can get Justin Garcia, we will bring you Bucks coverage, but I don't want us faking it like we know what we're talking about. John Wesley probably knows more about the Bucks than I do.
I'm going to be honest. I know a lot about the Bucks. I pay attention. Pat Beverly, I think, has added a nice. I know more about the Packers. I'm not going to lie to you.
I know a lot about the Bucks. Quote.
We don't know nothing about the Bucks. Like,
I didn't
we know
say
something
I
about the
bet
Bucks.
I watched more of the Bucks' last two games than you did there, Mr. Buck.
Yeah,
hey, Bango.
The last two games.
Tell me more.
Pat Beverly. How is Pat Beverly, Ben? He brings an edge. He's tough. He's physical. Is he a reason why some of this stuff has gotten better? That's another question I was going to ask JG. I didn't have time.
Oh, we'll have him back tomorrow.
Sounds like we should start our own thing on Bucks Plus called Bucks Idiots with Wilde Tausch and Jesse.
No, Tausch knows. We should call the podcast I Know a Lot About the Bucks.
No, I know more than you guys do. I'm not saying I know more than John Wesley.
Bucks for dummies.
I know more than you guys do. Yeah.
Okay. You can just spout all your important statistics when you do your podcast. I Know a Lot About the Bucks with Mark Tauscher. Find it soon on Bucks Plus. You know what? If you did that, it could be sponsored by Coors Light.
That would be fun. Coors Light brewed the 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged. So it's made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978. Coors Light is refreshing. It's crisp. It's only 102 calories. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company at Golden, Colorado.
I Know a Lot About the Bucks, the new podcast on Bucks Plus with Mark Tauscher. We'll close things out next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online,
Even
and
when you
on
think
demand.
you know
what's going on, you can never be too sure.
Are you in the clunker coming camp as well?
Yes. Could be two.
Packers, nonsense, chaos.
The double clunker.
Are we talking about boobs?
I like how if anything is mentioned in Bears, he will close the boobs.
You know?
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, morning 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Pick up the best wild bird food for less during our KT sale this week at Fleet Farm. Get 20 pounds of basic blend on sale for only $6.99. Save on a 35-pound bag of Birders Blend for just $21.99. Plus, we carry over 150 varieties of wild bird food, so you'll find something for every bird in your backyard. Save on everything you need for your everyday life at Fleet Farm.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Are you sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? Then you need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, this is Brad Nortman. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgeries are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, whether it's from arthritis or an injury, don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics Advanced, state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. Call 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here to tell you about one of the best purchases I recently made, an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. It's an easy-to-install sauna that is great for a post-workout, travel, or long-day detoxification, and it has a rapid heat-up time. Using Good Health Saunas can also help reduce stress, improve circulation, and make your skin glow. Got an athlete in your family or just someone with an active lifestyle? Infrared saunas are perfect for muscle and tissue recovery as well. Learn more today at goodhealthsaunas.com. goodhealthsaunas.com.
Every 36 seconds, a vehicle is stolen in the United States. Cars are an important investment, and you have the power to protect it. Remove valuables from your car or place out of view. Roll up your windows completely. Don't leave your car running while unattended, especially during the winter. And always lock your doors and take your keys or fob with you. If you know something about a vehicle theft, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB.
This is a public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
So between our time with Justin Garcia and our discussion of Tausch's incredible, vast knowledge of the Milwaukee Bucks, we missed Wonelli. So in deference to Jesse's airtime,
did we?
Jesse, you can close out the show. What do you got?
Oh, thanks. So I was at a wedding over the weekend, and what usually happens to
I'm sorry, we're
Tausch
out of time.
happened to me. A fan of the show was attending the wedding and came up and introduced himself to me.
Nice.
Yep. Scott in Virginia, who was a little
Scotty.
He was a little misunderstood on the text line. He thought that it was through the Wisconsin On Demand app, and he's like, "How come I can't find it?" I'm like, "Well, no, you just send it like a basic text message." And he's like,
Sure.
"Oh yeah."
Then
So-
you gave him your number.
So now, well, I didn't give him my private line, but I gave him so he's going to be contributing to the show, I think, more often now, Scott. But he shared some feedback for us. He did say he would love if we talked a little more Bucks when the Bucks are good. So
Well, there you go, Scott.
I think Scott's a big
Good
fan
thing
of the
we've got
11 o'clock hour.
Yeah, no doubt.
Do you want to hear any negative feedback that he shared?
Nope.
Yes, yes, I do.
He said Tausch can be a little feisty.
That's not
No
negative
blank.
at all. That's not remotely negative. Scott, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, he said sometimes he needs to step away a little bit if the shows get a little too feisty. And he specifically mentioned
That's
your
okay.
name.
Here's the deal. I ain't going to be a wallflower. I just ain't interested in it. So
I
love the Wallflowers, though, the band. I love the Wallflowers.
Jacob Dylan.
So
yeah.
that's a
headlight.
weird deal.
There's somewhere in between Wallflower and when you're at your feistiest that might be easier for all of us to, weather. But
I can't fake it.
I don't want
Jason,
you to change who you
it.
are. If you're pissed about your breakfast at your hotel, damn it, I want to know about it.
Now, there are some things from a relationship standpoint with you that I have adjusted, but outside of that,
yes, it's me because I'm the one who's. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. Yes,
I just realized I told Scott I would take a picture with him at the photo booth, and I didn't do that. So sorry, Scott.
Good luck.
Way to go.
Good luck finding that really expensive phone charger. That's it for us today. Hopefully, Tausch can overcome this tragedy and join us tomorrow.
Call the lost and found line.
I'll get right on it, Mr. Tauscher.
Thanks for coming along for the ride with us. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You've heard me talk about the results mentality has had on my life, but don't just take it from me. Jason has had success too, thanks to mentality.
My only regret is I didn't do it sooner, knowing